Hello, hello, and welcome back to another stream of Higurashi. This time, starting Meakashi. I've already set up my config, but that should be fine. So let's just straight up go into the first episode of the Answers arc. Meakashi, beloved cutthroat. Eye-opening chapter. Welcome to the world of Higurashi, when they cry Kai. We've fully reached the halfway point. From the viewpoint of the protagonist, try to find the truth behind the tragedy that unfolds. Difficulty is very high. It won't be easy to comprehend the motive of the perpetrators. Alright, let's go. This arc includes choices that were added in the console version. These choices result in dialogue changes and can lead to bad ends. Do you want to see the choices? No, I'm not going to go with those. She dropped her beads in the sand, so the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl searched the sands. They might be in the ocean, not the sands, the girl cried. For 100 years, the girl searched the ocean. They might be in the mountains, not the ocean, so the girl cried. Damn it! Is a work of fiction any resemblance to actual persons, organizations, entirely coincidental, too. I didn't manage to get to the end of that. 7 keys were attached to the keychain. Without knowing which key was the correct one, I had to go by instinct and try every key one by one. On average, I'd reach the correct key within 3.5 attempts. I'd be fortunate if I could open the lock with the first 3 keys. And I'd be unfortunate if I didn't. I had to think of the worst case scenario, getting the right key only at the very last attempt. I fought with my nervousness, my head ached from it. Put the key in, turned it. Just need to repeat the small procedure several more times, but I couldn't stop shaking. Damn, a 2-year-old kid can do something this easy. So am I more childish than a 2-year-old? Whatever, I don't care if I'm clumsy. Just need to try all these keys. Even if the worst case scenario, the lock will open on the 7th try.
嘘。
No way. Reality isn't always the same as math. What happened was worse than the worst case scenario. None of the keys worked at all. I could feel the blood draining from my brain. Did I get the wrong set of keys? No, I definitely see a faint marking that says this set is for this door. Am I just reading it wrong? Should I go back to the key cabinet to look for the right one? That would mean a great loss of time. Just by being here, I'm already risking so much. Something that could ruin everything might happen any moment. If I can't open the lock, do I have to go back to the administration office? If there were no other choice, it would be a waste of time to spend another second here. The administration office wouldn't necessarily be empty at this time. Somebody might come in. Won't be able to look for the right key if that happens. Stood up quickly as if electrified. Was almost in a panic, and so felt the urge to move. My instincts pushed me. Have to go back there and as quickly as possible. It's dangerous to be here. It's also dangerous if somebody comes into the administration office. I cooled my head, making it as chilly as possible to repress my fear. Calm down, Shion. Mion wouldn't panic in this situation. Maybe I'm just mistaken. Why don't I try the keys one more time? The next moment, I felt a faint vibration in the air. Someone is walking somewhere in the hallway. How do you feel a faint vibration? If it were a normal situation, I would have known I would have known I wouldn't run into them, since the footsteps were very far away. But at the time I couldn't think calmly. Ah shit. Why am I panicking this much just because of footsteps? Calm down, calm down. Should be feeling excited instead. Calm down, calm down. Just need to do what I have to do. Should ignore the footsteps because they're not an immediate threat. Pretend they aren't there. I have to listen for something much more important right now. Ah, shit. The key should be hard and cold, but it's pliable and hard. Feels like rubber. How could I stick this into a keyhole? Shit, shit, shit. It wasn't the key that was pliable. It was my fingers that were limp. Ah, shit, shit, shit. The key sprung out of my hand and fell to the floor. It shouldn't have made any sound, because it was so pliable, but made a tremendous metal noise. Somebody pushed over a cupboard. Cling! The sound almost stopped my heart. Felt dizzy for a while. Looked around afterwards to be careful to see if I caused any disturbances to the surroundings. Calm down, calm down. Nothing's changed. Don't hear anything. So am I safe? Calm down, calm down, calm down. Uh-oh. Wait, I don't hear anything? What about those footsteps in the distance? Calm down, calm down, calm down. They're looking for me after they notice the sound? Ah, shit. What is the sound I'm hearing? My sweat dropping on the floor? Shut up, shut up, shut up. How could I hear the sound of my sweat? Calm down. Calm down, calm down. Calm the fuck down. Have to clarify. This isn't a prison or detention center. It's a private school. Not a normal one, though. Costs a fortune just to get in. It's a boarding school that provides education from elementary school to university. Being for girls only rather than a school, you could say it's a factory that manufactures ladies. Some of my classmates here have never even used public transportation. Really, it isn't normal. To me, saying, "How nice to see you," instead of just "hi" is already insane. And calling the teachers sisters gives me the creeps. I hate the morning and evening prayers, to say nothing about Sunday Mass. Don't want to memorize the Bible passages. The Holy Ghost gives me a rash. If I stay in this institution, that's what I call this place, for many years, I'd either go crazy or be brainwashed. Okay, so it's you go to Catholic school. I'm sorry. In Japan, most of the girls choose to be brainwashed, but I can't do that. After all, I was more impressed with the political schemes and international trade behind religious propagation than by the love of God, which the Bible teaches. Because of that, I've been treated as a problematic child from the beginning. I experienced lots of disadvantages as a result. I realized that quickly, so I superficially pretend to be normal. However, I got tired of acting, so I started to reveal my true self from time to time. Became a problematic child once again. People started to treat me differently once again. It's fun to misbehave, but it wouldn't do anything for me in the long run. So why did I act that way? Why, even though I knew I was going to backfire on me later? After examining my emotions, I realized that I completely had it with my surroundings. I was afraid of being brainwashed in this institution. I can't live here. I won't let them brainwash me. 6 months ago, I decided to escape this place. The moment I made up my mind, I started to feel alive again. I acted ladylike in order to deceive the sisters. Pretending become fun once I've set my goal. It gave me the creeps when they told me with smiles that it was God's influence that I started to behave religiously. I laughed at them behind their backs. Took on my classmates' duties in order to understand the layout of the school and the schedules of the staff and guards. I soon found that the security of the school was immensely tight, because there were many daughters of important people living here. The guards walked their beat randomly. There were surveillance cameras everywhere. The system that kept out intruders, ironically, also worked to prevent escapees. But that excites me instead. I simulated how to avoid all the surveillance in my head many times. I drew an escape route in the corner of my notes during classes and tested if it worked. I strove to acquire any necessary skills for the escape. It was all fun. After all, the situation was cathartic for me. That's who I am. No matter how hard they try to brainwash me, I never change. Been waiting for the moment of my escape, preparing physically and mentally. First, I needed the courage to escape. I had to be confident of the plan. I had to think deeply about it. I also needed skills and physical strength. Imagine all the possible obstacles and I trained myself. That's funny, because I was finally able to enjoy gym classes, even the long distance runs. I need a perfect plan as well as physical strength and skills necessary to execute it. I also supported by those things, I need determination. I made sure that I had all that I made sure that I had all I needed and executed the plan. Decided to plant a seed in school before the appointed day. The seed was a rumor that one of the male teachers was having a relationship with a student. I won't go into details, but that can turn into an enormous problem in this school. School is limited to girls precisely because their parents want to avoid those kinds of problems. Those parents are most important people from various positions. If the romance is a fact and was leaked to the public, the principal would have to commit suicide in shame. In fact, even that might not be enough. In the worlds of girls, rumors spread fast, especially when they're separated from boys and are obsessed with dirty thoughts. This kind of rumor goes around really quickly. The sisters try to get rid of this kind of rumor, and they want the students not to be swayed by it. But apparently, they're the ones who are most swayed by those rumors. This means that I managed to make them fervently deal with something shady without contacting families or the authorities. Okay, I have to say, this is sounding pretty messed up for Shion. As far as I understanding, she's in this boarding school and seemingly stuck here. The way she's talking, like she actually has to escape from here. Like, if it's mid-semester and she can't, I know, and she normally lives here in dorms and stuff like that. And she can't just wait for, I know, summer break to go home and tell I want to be somewhere else. Then yeah, she's pretty much institutionalized, I guess. But that sounds pretty crazy. Oh well. So if it disappeared in these circumstances, it looked like I ran away with some teacher. All the male teachers were denied, of course. However, the school wouldn't believe what they said so easily. Or there's a dirty rumor going around. By the time the school finds out about my escape, after they eliminate all the other possibilities, I'll be somewhere safe. I tried hard to spread the rumor that I was involved in the forbidden romance as widely as possible. The sisters questioned me a few times, but since the romance was something I'd made up, they couldn't find anything. No matter how hard they tried, they couldn't find any evidence. After 3 months, I was certain that I created a solid foundation. Swapped up the dinner duties with my classmates so I could adjust my schedule on this day. Was even able to fill them with suspicion about me by doing that. Now they'll definitely suspect that I ran away with some male teacher. Tonight was the night. And my chores after dinner. After lights out, somebody will find out about my disappearances. My generous roommate will probably wait about 10 minutes before she reported me to her sister, but no longer than that. Had about an hour tops. But that was enough for me. Took a step off my regular route. That was the first step towards my great escape. Calmed down and thought. The key shouldn't be wrong. This lock is old and firm. Isn't it possible that I put the right one in, but the lock was just stiff and I only thought I got the wrong one? Realized that my nervousness was making me clumsy. The gloves that I'm wearing to avoid leaving fingerprints must be getting in the way too. I should try the keys one more time. I picked the most probable one and gently inserted it into the keyhole. It's stiff. If I twist it too strongly, I might break the key. The moment I thought of giving up, felt something in my fingertips. The key worked. Slowly opened the door. Hear the crickets. I don't have to hesitate now. But somehow I'm reluctant to step outside. I can still make excuses up to this point. Might look awkward, but I still can. If I take a step outside, now there can be no excuses. If the guards find me, they'll take me to the office immediately. They have they have been escape attempts before. That's not really so strange. I don't think I'm the only heathen here. It's understandable that there have been people before who couldn't fit in this place. So the school is well aware of the possibility of escapees. I've heard rumors that what happened to those who were caught while attempting to escape. I don't want to believe any of those stories though. You see, all the school's horror stories involve students who attempted escapes. Whatever, bring it on. I'm not expecting to get second chances anyway. There'll always be only one chance. Things get serious beyond this door. I psych myself up and push the door open. Strong smell was hanging in the air. Is that normal for the outside? I'd never smelled this strong grassy smell before. Is there something going on? Do I have to be wary of it? Should I go back and wait for another chance? That's silly. There's nothing strange going on. This smell is something I smell every day. Just wasn't aware of it. It's true, isn't it? That's a weird song. Just to show here. This time I only have the option of new BGM, SE, and Jins. I'm currently on new. Next I'm gonna go on old. But, yeah. Not really used to this music. Oh well. Even though I pretend to be cool, I'm nothing but a nervous wreck. Calm down. Calm down, Shion. Rely only on the map inside my head from this point forward. I'd research the location of all the surveillance cameras. I'm confident that I'll be able to avoid all of them. I'm not sure about the guards. They pick their patrol routes randomly after all. I have to take a chance. I can hide myself in most places, but there's an area where there's nowhere to hide for several meters. I concentrated to keep my senses keen. Well, I have to depend on my luck in the end. Even if I do my best, the guard might find me by mere chance. On the contrary, I might be able to get away no matter how unwisely I choose to move, if I'm lucky. Damn, after all the effort, it just boils down to luck. Haha, this is a gamble after all. I realized that, I got excited. Yes, this is a gamble. I'm trying my luck. This is a game to test determination to change my life. If somebody failed to escape from the school, that meant they didn't have enough luck to survive in the real world. But I'm different. Going to get out of here. I'm testing my luck. Here goes Shion. I ignored the noisy bugs and concentrated only on suspicious sounds. I heard no threats. The loudest sound wasn't the bugs, but it was my own heartbeat. Crunch. Even my footsteps were so loud that they could break my eardrums. To each and every step, my overreactive imagination tormented me with premonitions and unexpected run-ins with guards. Countless times the torture grew too hard to bear, and I thought of running. But if I broke into a run, the noise I made would only draw suspicion. If anyone heard running at a time and place where people shouldn't be, they would realize something abnormal was happening. But if footsteps they heard were just walking, then they'd likely think nothing of it. Of course, I don't plan on even letting them hear those footsteps. Try to extend my senses to get as much information as possible. I didn't sense anyone's presence. I might have felt safer if I heard a guard in the distance. I'm worried that my senses might be keen enough to detect everything. Somebody might be right behind me without me being aware of it. Oh, it might not be, sorry. I don't want to make any noises, but stop from time to time. But I looked no different than if I was frozen in fear. So stop or to stop or to run. Something within urged me to choose from either one. I can't choose to stop. I have to keep going quickly and stealthily. I'm already risking so much just by being here. Running, of course, would be absurd. I knew that. The urge to run continued to bug me. My head was filled with those thoughts as I went through the dangerous territory. I succeeded in passing through without running into anybody. I couldn't help but sit for a moment and exhale the rotten air from my lungs. My negative thoughts vanished quickly. Just a little more to go. Just a little more. Just through the bush over there in the fence that separates this place and the outside world. Once again, I strongly felt the urge to run. Suppressed the desire and carefully tackled the first step. The beautiful looking fence didn't seem designed to prevent escapees. While I was worried that somebody might see me climbing up the fence, it fortunately didn't happen. It seemed possible that this fence might have a touch sensor. It's too late now. It doesn't mean anything now, since I'm already climbing up. The top of the fence seemed about 7 feet high. I have to go down carefully, just like when I climbed up. I knew that logically, but I couldn't think that way anymore. I chose to jump off with no hesitation. Of course, I regretted my decision during the fall. Got scared because the flight was longer than expected. Didn't land beautiful, I fell on my butt. But there was nobody around to laugh, and I didn't have time to be embarrassed. I looked around to see if anybody heard my landing. Even the crickets weren't interested in the sound I made. I felt relieved. Looked at my watch. 5 minutes till 8 p.m. It was just a 15-minute escape. Putting a number to it really made it obvious how short it had been. Looking back, most of the time was just asking myself questions and hesitating. I guess I worried too much. But I can't be too relaxed just yet. There's no guarantee that I fooled all the cameras. This place isn't a bank. There won't be a fire alarm going off even if the guards did see me. It's possible they're rushing this way right now. I can't enjoy the air of freedom yet. Hid my sense in the darkness and waited. There's still time left until the rendezvous. Ooh. Higurashi when they cry. Kai. I watched the school premises while waiting, but it looked like nothing strange was going on. The building was lit up, and the beautiful Western-style architecture made it hard to believe that it was a school. It should be armed with electrifying wires, searchlights, and guard dogs like the prison it is. Father had experienced a surge of school memories in a situation like this, but it didn't happen. This awful thing only happens when you have good memories. I have no good memories of this school, so there is nothing to remember. But if I could pick a series of images to recall, it'd be the luxurious dinners we had every night. So my memories would be nothing but international cuisine. Japanese, Chinese, French, and so on. What the hell? That's just too funny. I burst into laughter. At that point, I heard a car approaching. I crouched in the darkness. Plate number is the same as I was expecting. That's the car. I jumped out and rushed to the passenger side, then opened the door and got in. Asai, nice to see you. Shion-san. The driver was a man of early old age. He'd be angry if he heard me say that, though. He thinks he's still middle-aged. He looked at my face and learned that I succeeded. He smiled. Ah, the air feels so fresh. Wanna eat a burger for a start? I heard they service excellent food in the school, but I suppose you were served nothing but gruel, huh? No way, dumbass. Was just kidding. Step on the gas if you have time to laugh at me. Feel like Shion's voice actor is different. As you wish. Or maybe it's just that she's younger? Kasai really did laugh out loud. After telling me to buckle up, he accelerated. The cathedral-like school disappeared from the mirror in an instant. It disappeared so quickly that I didn't have time for a surge of dinner memories. Goodbye, my lovely school days. Haha, I'm going to fill my stomach with junk food from now on. I'll forever be free from the table manners you taught me. Haha. Serves you right. As we drove, the scenery behind began to change. Soon we were surrounded by vast fields of crop and a few streetlights. Remind me that this was just the countryside of Japan, not Europe. Are you hungry? Would you like to stop somewhere to eat? It's okay, I already ate. I lied. Actually a bit hungry. Didn't eat much at dinner to avoid slowing myself down with a full stomach. I appreciate Kasai's offer, but I didn't feel like taking the time to eat while we were still in enemy territory. It's late, so you only find vending machines at the highway rest stops. Oh, I've heard there are hamburger and Odin vending machines nowadays. Huh? What the hell? Will that dispense a cup with ingredients like a coffee machine? That's gross! I don't think that it's like that. It usually comes in a can. Ah, sorry. I can't stand canned food though. Still? But you might have grown out of it. And because I can't. Shut up. Why are you laughing? Kasai chuckled. He must have been trying to help me relax. He isn't usually so talkative. I'm exhausted. I'm going to get some sleep. How do you recline this? Look for the lever on the lower left part of the seat. Can you find it? Oh, here it is. Here I go. Kasai laughed again. Did you do something funny? No. It's just the way you talk sounds like Mion-san. Well, obviously, we are identical twins. We're perfect copies of each other. When I react to something, so will Mion. When Mion reacts to something in a certain situation, I'll react the same way. Our sis, I believe she's fine. Only see her when I bring your father to the family councils. That's right, she doesn't live with her parents' home anymore. She's living with a hag in Hirizawa now, isn't she? She moved to the main house around the same time you started going to that school. I responded with disinterest even though I was the one to ask about her in the first place. The main house is where Oryu, the current leader of Sonozaki family, lives. That's my grandma, who I call a hag. When we use the phrase, the main house, that usually means more than just a dwelling. What Kasai refers to is the same thing. Did she change? You mean Mion-san? Yeah, I think she has to change. She's living so closely with grandma. Kasai chuckled yet again. He knows I hate my grandma. I haven't noticed any changes. She's still the Mion-san you know. What about me? Did I change? No, not at all. Kasai responded quickly with a smirk. I haven't seen him for a while though. It's not fun if he answers this quickly. I glared at him and then he burst out laughing. You haven't changed at all. That's admirable, since you've been in such a strict school for so long. Damn it! Laugh as much as you want. I'm going to sleep. There's a blanket in the back. Please make use of it. Thanks. Grabbed the blanket and rolled it up. I'm exhausted, but I can't go to sleep. It's strange. Or maybe not. Must be tired from the escape. It's just that I'm still feeling tense. So I have to declare it once again, if only to calm myself. I'm sleeping. I totally am. Alright, that's the first time you said that. Do I have to give you permission to sleep? You're talking too much. I can't go to sleep if you don't quiet down. I apologize, princess. I'll keep quiet now. This interaction with Kasai reminds me of the old peaceful days in Okonomiya. Well, I don't really know if I'd call those days peaceful. We're in the middle of a damn protest back then, after all. We all united together, and now that I think about it, we pulled a lot of pretty dangerous stunts. If the authorities ever find out what I did, I'd never escape going to juvie. Well, at least half the population of Inamizawa would be off to prison. We didn't think of them as criminal acts, though. It was war. I might also have. It might also have been a festival. A festival where every person in Inamizawa joined together in protest. It was a struggle, but it was also fun. It was fun to throw stones, the riot police with everybody. We hid ourselves. We'd hid ourselves in somebody's home when they chased after us. We'd even go crowd around the police station demanding the release of our arrested comrades. When we snuck into the construction site and sabotaged it, it felt more like we were playing at war than conducting one. I got so excited back then. Felt united with my fellow members even though they were strangers to me. That memory warms my heart. Yes, the way I felt back then was like helping everybody to carry a sacred palanquin through the village, getting all sweaty and exhausted together, until we all collapsed face first on the ground and shared our excitement and cheers with unfamiliar faces over tea. I was just a kid back then. I remember accompanying young men who worked for my dad out to the village to do various bad things. I was arrested a few times. I didn't feel any different though. Then, uh, then when I was called to the teacher's office for forgetting my homework. The other villagers were furious about the dam project. But for those of us who were kids at the time, it was a pretty fun memory. All that came to a sudden end a few years ago. It wasn't only the power of the protest that ended the dam construction project. The Sonozaki family and my dad's organization had worked secretly in the shadows. There's top secret information in the Sonozaki family, but it said that they may or may not have kidnapped the Minister of Construction's grandson in order to blackmail him. The grandson was found a few days after the abduction. He was found in the mountains of Yagauchi. He didn't simply disappear, and he wasn't even away. That means that some kind of deal was made in secret. A year after that, the dam construction plan was halted indefinitely. The police suspects the villagers' involvement and investigated, but they couldn't find any leads. The villagers never betrayed each other. They do anything to protect their fellow man. They fabricated fake alibi and fake evidence. It was easy to deceive the police. Yeah. The car suddenly shook. Oh, one moment. Sorry about the wait. The car suddenly shook and snapped at me. Snapped me out of it. Must have It must have run over a bump or something. I suddenly realized my expression was a very happy one for some reason. Ah, must be looking forward to going home.
シオンさん、
Shion-san,
起きてま
are
す
you
か？
awake?
何？
What is it?
お帰りですが、
Would you like to take you to the
沖宮で
house in
よろしい？
Okonomiya?
他にどこに
Where
帰
else
ん
would
の
you be
よ。
taking me? I answered straightforwardly with a frown. Kasai then also chose to reply straightforwardly.
シオンさんを全
It
寮
was the
制の
family
学園
head
に
who
入
decided
学させる決定は、
on your
そ
enrollment
の
to
崎本家
Saint
当主
Lucia.
がシオンさんは
You ran
そ
away
の
from
が
there.
どういうことか
You
お
do
分
understand
か
the
りで
situation
す
you're
ね。
in.
ばあさんの決め
The
た
school
学校
grandma
が 私に合わなかったってだけでしょ。
the school grandma chose didn't fit me. That's all.
シオンさん、
Shion-san?
あーって
I know,
め
I
んど
know.
くさいな。
Shut up. At the head of the Sonozaki family, the hack's decisions are absolute. They're nothing like, say, the 3-second rule. Worse, the decision to confine me to the academy far away from the Sonozaki family was made before I was even born. Shion was the name they gave me. My sister Mion has a character that means demon in her name. That was so to signify that she's the successor of demons. In other words, she would be the successor of the Suzaki family, its demonic bloodline. My name, Shion, has a character that means temple in it. This means that I was destined to take the veil and be confined in a temple. Speaking of that reminds me how much I hate this name of mine. For starters, the person known as Shion is an abominable being to the Sonozaki family, because it meant the family had 2 heirs. I don't have to cite the countless historical examples to explain that it's easy to imagine how that could prove troublesome for succession. According to our long-held family traditions, one of the twins was to be strangled to death right after birth. Unbelievable, isn't it? But that means is that I have to be grateful just to be alive and breathing to this day. I heard the hag actually put her hands on my neck right after I was born. Don't know what exactly took place in that moment. Maybe some brave relative of mine managed to get her to stop. Or maybe she was in an extremely good mood that day. Then don't try to strangle me! We're twins. There's no apparent differences between us. But the first one out of my mom's stomach was named Mion, and the second one drew the short straw and got named Shion. Everyone else was desperate to tell us apart, but we sisters just found that awfully ridiculous. There wasn't any difference between us. No one could tell us apart, even if we only swapped hats. We wondered why all the grown-ups were trying to see the differences. Well, our fun as twins didn't last forever. One day they created an undeniable, clear-cut distinction between Mion and Shion. Mion went to the main Sonozaki house to live with the hag and learn how to become the successor. And I was confined at St. Lucia's. I have no objection to Sis's inheritance. I used to be jealous, but now I feel that having to learn about and follow the tradition would just make me tired. I even feel sorry for Mion. So I'm not going to be a threat to the family even if I'm back in Okonomiya. But the hag doesn't seem to think that way. She thinks of me as some kind of evil omen. That's why she wants to keep me away from her. That doesn't matter to me. I don't want to see her face either. I don't care if she doesn't allow me to enter Hinamizawa. She can charge me 10,000 yen per step I take there, but I want her to let me live in Okonomiya where I grew up. When I was little, I was in Himizawa, but I don't remember it much, and I'm not very attached to it. I do have good memory of my elementary school days in Okonomiya. The town isn't very sophisticated, but I kind of like it there. If you go back to Okonomiya, somebody from the family will notice you, and then they'll report you to the main house. Are you worried that grandma will hear about me? Hahaha, that might be a problem. Hope you understand the situation. What, Kasai? Are you telling me to go back to the awful place? No, I'm not. What I'm trying to say is, you want to know whether I'm prepared or not. Just hope you understand what might happen. Well, I know what you mean. You'll be held responsible for helping me escape if things go bad, right? You should caress your pinky fingers while you can, Kasai, before they take it away from you. You should look forward to being rolled up in a futon mat and thrown into the Onogofuchi swamp in that case. Maybe they'll send you to the torture room in the garden. I heard there's a big torture room in the main Sonozaki house. I've never seen it though. I heard they used to torture and kill the enemies in the village in there. It's just awful, really. I hope I don't end up as a victim in that place. Okay, everything's going to be alright. We resemble your mother. In a way, you take chances, I mean. That's normal. She's my mom. My dad and mom will be furious if they find out about my escape. I'm more afraid of them than of the hack. I don't want to go into the details, but my dad is part of the Yakuza. He's in charge of the organization which covers the Shishibone area. He's in a very important position. So is Kasai here. He's an old friend of Dad, who really trusts him. I don't know if this is true, but I heard Kasai used to be very aggressive, but he's gentle now. I also heard he has tons of scars. He was in charge of a few large areas, but when he was injured in a fight, he retired. Now he's my dad's consultant, aka drinking buddy. He was my caretaker in my childhood, and now I feel like he's my butler. At first, I thought my dad asked him to supervise me, so I hated him. But in time, I started to feel like he was on my side. This is just a hunch, but I think Kasai used to be in love with my mom. My dad, mom, and Kasai were in a love triangle, though my dad took the lead in the end. Kasai couldn't leave my mom entirely, so he stayed around as my dad's friend. I can tell that. Then, dude has a very square head. Alright, I remember seeing him in one of the earlier chapters. Which one was it? I don't think it was one. Probably two, but Nagashi? If I had to guess. I can tell that from the way he reacts. He's seeing my mom in me. That's why he says I look like my mom every now and then. It kind of gave me the creeps at first, but he isn't a bad guy at all. He's actually pretty funny. I only found that out after I got used to him. So when I thought about escaping, I naturally turned to him. I contacted him in an early stage of my plan and arranged to meet him today. You could call him a conspirator. It's not surprising he's worried about my return to Okonomiya. Considering the rules and traditions, cutting off his pinky isn't too far from reality. Might be rolled up in a futon mat and thrown to the swamp for real too. Even so, there is only one place for me to return. I'm going to Okonomiya and nowhere else. It's my hometown. This might be a kind of homesickness. I don't care what it looks like. So, what are you going to do? Sonozaki family is everywhere. Well, I'll lay low for now. If somebody sees me, I'll tell them I'm Neon. Then what? Then after things calm down a bit, I'll start talking to my closest relatives. I know they'll be on my side. I know some people who covered for me when I had a fight with my dad once. I see. I'm trying to get pay to comply, so the Sonozaki main house will have to accept you later on. Hope that works. It will. There are so many people who oppose the idea of enrolling in that school. The decision was obviously made because the hacks hated towards me. Don't you agree, Kasai? Well, yeah. I thought the decision was excessive. She couldn't make the right decision because she was suffering from menopause. All the fuss around the damn protests drove her nuts. Kasai smiled. I couldn't go to sleep after all, even though I was rolled up in a blanket. Even though I told Kasai to shut up, I kept talking to him. In time, I got tired of talking. I could feel the car run smoothly on the highway as it spoke to me again. Shion-san. Look. Huh? So tired that I ignored him. Wondered what he wanted to look at, but I wasn't that interested. I opened my eyes slightly and saw a sign quickly pass by. Kasai probably wanted me to see the sign. Had an Illustrating of azaleas around the letters that said, "Welcome to Shishibone City. My hometown is coming right up." Chapter 5, Meakashi. That is an interesting background for Shion. Shion Sonozaki. And I saw one new character as well with horns or something like that. I'm not sure if that's a console art character or not. Let's read the notebook's beginning. June 1982. Satoshi Hojo disappeared several days after the Watarangashi festival. There were three possible reasons for his disappearance. One possibility is that it was an accident. Dead bodies sometimes end up in irrigation channels a few months after hit-and-run incidents. But since the police did a thorough search for the area and found his body, this possibility seems small. Suddenly, the irrigation canal death we found in Chapter 3, Episode 3, the beginning, sounds ominous. The second possibility is a self-motivated disappearance. Satoshi-kun had been living in dire circumstances. His close friends actually heard him imply he might run away. The police thought he skipped town after killing his aunt. That seemed plausible considering that aspect, but the police arrested another person for the murder. This hypothesis must also be considered false. The last possibility is that he was involved in a series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa. It's also called the Curse of Oyoshio-sama. He fell victim to it and disappeared. Unless Oyoshio-sama's occult powers is actually verified, This curse must be the act of humans. It's only natural to assume that Satoshi-kun was made to disappear by someone's will. So his question is, whose? The possibilities are quite limited. The culprit is either a member of the Sonozaki family, a member of the three families, or one of the many relatives. Police can assume that easily. They need to think beyond that. Who did it? How did it happen? And why did it have to be done? Why did the Satoshi-kun fall victim? What was the motive? Who gave out the order? Who actually did it? The mastermind, the culprit, and the truth. All are in reach of my grasp. Maybe I'll find them right behind my back. But even so, I can't reach everywhere. There are parts of my back I have to make an effort to reach, clenching my teeth and cracking my joints so the tips of my fingers can barely touch them. The truth is hidden in places like those. I'm writing this because I need to organize my thoughts and memories. Nobody will read it other than myself. But if somebody does, that means that either I threw those notes away because I no longer needed them, or I fell victim to the curse of Oyoshio-sama in the middle of my attempt to solve the mystery. If it was the former, that's okay. If it was the latter, please, I want you to help me. Please help the powerless young girl. Interesting. Is that Shion? I assume that is Shion. And this is the beginning of the notebook. But it could be Takano. Because we saw her notebook previously. This could be the beginning of her notebook. Because we only saw parts of her notebook previously. But that doesn't seem to fit with her. Oh well, let's continue. AD 1982. I think the fourth year of the series of Mysterious Deaths in Mizawa, also known as Shio-sama's curse, 1 year prior to Keiichi Maebara's transfer. Thank you, game. I needed that. I didn't hear a wake-up chime. I'm not in school anymore. My brain is half asleep, but I'm aware of that. Waking up at the same time as the chime would go off at school doesn't feel good. I can't go back to sleep after this. Still, I'm not going to live a torturous school life anymore. I just had an idea. What if Chapter 5, Episode 5, is Year 4? Episode 6 is Year 3. Episode 7 is Year 2. And Episode 8 is back to Year 1. And we have to prevent the first murder so the other murders don't happen. Still, I'm not going to live in a torturous school life anymore. I can make today either happy or boring. It's up to me. Yay, that's really positive. I feel like I'm alive for the first time in a while. I didn't have any other clothes, so I was still wearing the school track uniform. It's supposed to have been designed by some famous Italian person, but it just looks plain to me. It really doesn't feel great to still be in clothes from that school. I want to enjoy my freedom as soon as possible. Also, famous Italian person. Could it be? I'm sorry. I especially don't want to walk around outside wearing it. I should have Kasai bring me some new clothes later. And I should think of redecorating this room. After all, it's going to be my castle from now on. This is a room in a gorgeous apartment building in the suburbs of Okonomiya. The property is one of a realtor in my dad's conglomerate, obtained after foreclosure due to some sort of dispute. Most of the residents moved out during that. So while there are plenty of rooms, it's a lonely complex that feels devoid of people. Plus, with the exception of the manager and a scant one or two others, all the residents are shady-looking people connected to my dad. won't be much longer before the various residents are driven out. The apartment I'm living in used to be the room they'd use for viewing, so it looks like a room in a business hotel. It's fully furnished, but lacking in any daily necessities. I'll buy those things over time, though. It's better that way anyway. It'll make it feel more like my own room. I know it for myself. It might have seemed stupid, but it helped psych me up. At the school, there was a TV only in the common room, and we weren't allowed to watch any cable channels. I zapped through all those channels as a form of emancipation. Also, terrible school. It was early in the morning, so nothing interesting was on. But I enjoyed it anyways. Commercials are fun to watch. Kasa dropped by with lunch right when I started to feel hungry. Good morning, Shion-san. Did you sleep well last night? Sleeping on the couch was a bit too uncomfortable. As a Japanese person, I want to sleep on a futon on the floor. Is this pickled radish is good? That's good to hear. Please let me know when you need later on. I'll try to get as much as I can. Thanks. Oh, but you don't need to worry so much about me. I chose this life for myself anyway. And your world wouldn't last if I started exhorting you, right? I have to be serious about my plan. I can't let myself take advantage of Kasa's world forever. I think I'm going to start a part-time job. I have to earn my own living. This is the life I chose, so naturally I have to take care of it myself. That's reassuring to hear. But are you sure? If you go outside, eventually someone from the family will discover you. I gave that a little thought, which is why I'll need Mion's help. Kasai, would you mind calling the main house for me? When Mion answers, pass me the receiver. Ah well, whatever you say. What could be your plan? Kasai dialed the number. It's funny to me that we're calling the main house, even though that's the place I most want to avoid at the moment. Hello. Good morning. Is this Mion-san? It's been a while. This is Kasai. Yes. Good morning. Could you hold for a moment? I'm letting someone else on the phone. Take the headset. Hello. Can you tell who this is? That voice! But that can't be true. Shion's still supposed to be confined at St. Lucia's. You can't be here. Yes, they forbid outside calls at the academy. But you're talking to me right now. Yeah. Even my dim-witted older sister should understand what that means. Did you sneak out of school? Oh, how? That's not important. I really missed you, sis. Yeah. Shion. That's as far as I could take it, and Mion had hit her limit too. We both burst into laughter, unable to keep up our act. It's been a while since we laughed out loud at each other like that. It's been forever, Shion. Seriously, what happened with you? It's not much. There's not much else to it. I haven't lied or anything. Wait, then you really run away? Oh, great job! The screen wasn't tight enough to keep me locked up in there. Maybe the school should be grateful you escaped quietly. If you were serious, it'd be easy for you to blow up the whole building to make you escape. Well, I couldn't have done that, but I might have set it on fire. Kasa smiled at us in amazement, his face a blend of amusement and exasperation. And to think they had a terrible relationship in a year. Is it okay to talk to you now? It's alright. Granny's out for a lesson. She's coming home later in the evening. That's good. We should get together and talk soon. Just over the phone for today, though. Okay. Did anybody report my escape to grandmother? Nope. We heard nothing. I pass along all the calls and guests for the main family now. All news reaches grandmother without going through me. I'm sure she doesn't know. Oh, that's awesome. You really sound like the next leader of the Suzaki family. You know, I don't like that. You should have taken my place. You're the one with the demon, aren't you? Well, keep giving it your all. I'll be rooting for you from the shadows. Anyway, that's not important now. You sound so indifferent. Well, that's okay, I guess. If you hear anything about me, give Kasa a call, okay? I'd like to give you my number here, but I'll keep the secret for the time being. Sorry. Alright. If Granny hears you fled to school, there'll be all kinds of trouble. I'll be on the lookout for now. And I'll tell Kasa-san... I'll let Kasa-san know if something happens. Thanks. I also have a favor to ask. Figured you would. Oh, mine is out of the question, okay? Mion really doesn't sound like Mion here either. Another part I could pester you for money. Just to ask you for a little help with my part-time job. I see. That's it then. What exactly do you need? We can communicate fast in a situation like this. We don't have to get into the details because we know what's on each other's minds. Uncle Yoshio is on my side, isn't he? I'm going to try and see if he can get a part-time job at one of the businesses he owns. Then I'll call you when I know my shift. But I just have to disappear while you're working, right? That's a little taxing. What are you saying, sis? Are you turning down your only sister's request? Seriously? Alright, I'll do it. I wouldn't want to see how you'd retaliate if I turned you down. Thanks. I'll buy you cake. Buy you a cake from Schlanke Berfas. I'll throw in tons of pretty tarts too. Shion? Schlanke Berta closed last fall. Huh? Oh, is that so? Yeah. Fiona had a stroke. He opened the store once. But he got sick again, so he had to shut it down. I see. That's a shame. Won't be able to eat the Mont Blanc cakes to my heart's content anymore. Was disappointed that my favorite cake shop had closed down, but more so that this town had changed without my knowing while I was gone. It was kind of regrettable. Are there any other changes I don't know about? Yeah, there are some. I'll tell you when we meet up next time. Thanks. I'll tell you about my school life. Let's set a date. I'll call you. Alright. I'll see you then. Mion? What is it? How are you? I'm fine. I'm glad to hear it. I'm hanging up now. Okay, see ya. It's really been a while since I last talked to her. I put down the phone and heaved a sigh as Kasai brought in some tea. So, how did it go? Do you remember Uncle Yoshio was in favor of me staying? I'll talk to him about my escape and ask him if he can hire me to work as one of his stores. Are you sure? Some other relative might find out. That's why I asked this a favor. I'll contact her when my shift is set, and she'll disappear while I'm working. Do you get a picture? Kasa looked puzzled. It's not really that difficult to grasp. It's simple. If somebody finds me at work, I'll tell them I'm Neon. Do you get it now? Normal people wouldn't buy this kind of plan. But Kasa knows too well how easy it is for my sister and me to trade places. That's audacious, or shrewd, I should say. I'm impressed. Is that a compliment, Kasa? Kasa looked amazed. If things go south, it'll affect him too. Considering the rules of my dad's profession, he won't be able to get away with just a mere apology. That's why he doesn't want me to do anything too risky. I think I have to make it up to him, since he helped me escape even knowing that risk. Oh, she going to work at Angel Mort? Alright, no problem. If I find somebody talking bad about you, I'll beat them up. Thank you so much. I knew I could rely on you, Uncle Yoshio. Uncle Yoshio pounded his chest with his fist after offering me his assurance. He seemed glad that I turned to him first. I'll be happy to help. So I'm so impressed that you're trying to support yourself. If you were here for money, I'd turn you into your grandmother right away. What? You're scaring me, Uncle. I knew he was reliable. He understood my situation straight away and promised to help. Manager, here's the shift chart. I'll put it here. One of the store clerks brought out a work schedule. There are many things I'm unfamiliar with written on it. So, how much can you work? That depends on our respective schedules. I hope I can get in when I want to. Hey, that sounds a little irresponsible, but I know you're in a difficult situation. and depending on me for my work. Our schedules have to match. Of course, Uncle Yoshi understood that. But I also knew that he couldn't afford a selfish part-timer who only works when she wants to. In the end, he decides to hire me as an office helper, not an official worker. As a temp, I wouldn't have a work schedule. My uncle also decided to pay me out of his own pocket. It's fine as long as I can make enough to support myself. Sure. I expect to get what I'm paying for, okay? I expect to get what I'm paying for, okay? And don't call me uncle in the office either. Alright, manager? Thanks for hiring me. Good, you get it. Once all the business talk was over, my uncle hounded me with all kinds of questions. He asked me things like, what was it in a prestigious girls' boarding school? And so on. Apparently there were all kinds of rumors going around about St. Lucia Academy I was confined to, and I already was curious about it. I had a few embellishments of my own, as I explained how unordinary life at the school was. My uncle looked extremely delighted to hear all the details about life in a secret garden full for girls. Horny bastard. Once my uncle was satisfied, it was my turn to ask all kinds of questions. I wanted to know if anything particular had happened while I was gone. Won't be able to act like Mion unless I can fill in the gap of information left the past 2 years. There haven't been many big changes. Been quiet since the end of the dam conflict. Went to the academy only a bit after they froze the project. There was still a bit of tension then. Even after they shut down construction, things were still tense because the project wasn't entirely cancelled. The only Fuji spared it was a year later. There's a big ceremony held at the shrine. And that's when the dam conflicts officially ended. That's right after I was imprisoned. Is everybody slacking now that the conflict is over? Guess you all had fun playing at war back during the protests, didn't you? Try to imagine how much suffering the adults went through every time they had to pick up the kids from the police station. Well, I can't deny that. It was like a festival bus. Uncle Yoshio seemed exasperated at how differently kids and adults treated the conflict. Oh yeah, there was that dismembering murder, wasn't there? The one where the fucking jerk of construction manager got split into pieces. They still haven't caught the culprit behind that, have they? Did they finally catch him? It doesn't sound like Shion. Come to think of it. I don't think they've caught him yet, no. It happened on the night of Watanagashi, didn't it? I remember everyone making a fuss about it being Oshio-sama's curse. It was pretty scary for us kids. Yeah, Oshio-sama's curse. That happened the year after too. That's right. It was scary too, wasn't it? Who was it again? The guy who put it down died in an accident, right? Ojo, wasn't it? And it happened on the night of Watagashi once again. Everyone went crazy, saying it had to be the curse. It was horrifying. Definitely. Construction manager that everybody hated was killed and dismembered on the night of Watanagashi festival. The incident on its own was more than intense enough for us kids. Worst part of the body was never found, which made it almost a ghost story among us. Oh, one moment. Sorry about that. We seriously believed that the severed right arm was roaming in search of the body it belonged to. It didn't take long for the rumor of Oroshio-sama's curse to become a topic of discussion among occult researchers and the like. Considering the circumstantial factors, even so, the rumor faded away after about a year. After the dam project was officially frozen, we held Watanagashi purely as a festival. But the curse struck again. Victim was a pro-dam activist who lived in Hinamizawa by the name of Hojo. He and his wife were on a trip when they fell from a cliff to their deaths. It was considered an accident. Technically, police were still searching for the wife's body. Remember right, they never did find it, did they? Once again, the man most worthy of Oroshio-sama's curse fell victim on the night of Watanagashi festival. So the fuss over Urshiyo-sama's curse rose up again. Till then, Urshiyo-sama wasn't considered very important. At least in the world of us kids, it was just the name of the object worshipped in the shrine, nothing more than that. I'd seen boys peeing on the archway, and I once stuck my hand into the offertory box. The existence of a god didn't matter much to us. But after 2 consecutive occurrences, the kids no longer doubted the existence of a curse. We're all shaking in fear of Urshiyo-sama. Everybody suddenly became interested in old stories about him too. We quietly listened to the musty old stories the elders had to tell. And we started to get genuinely believing that the tales of Urshiyo-sama's miracles, which many of us would have laughed away before. Urshiyo-sama's rules were awfully simple and clear. Enemies spreading into Hinamizawa will be cursed. Villagers leaving the village will be cursed. What defined the village was terribly vague. Were we never allowed to leave Hinamizawa village? Was going to Okonomiya still safe? Was a single step outside enough to be out? Was 3-day, 2-night hot spring trip still safe? We kids tried to draw a line. It was decided in the end that if you had a house in Hinamizawa or Okonomiya, you were safe. It was okay to go on trips if you had a house in the area, in either area. I know it's weird, but those rules were made up by kids after all. According to those rules, I'd be cursed since I lived in a boarding school in such a remote area. I couldn't say it out loud because I felt embarrassed, but in fact, I was a little scared of the curse. Yeah, it happened again the year after. It's really scary when that happens 2 years in a row. I still believe in Urshiyo-sama's power. Shion-chan, what are you saying? Don't you know? No? Now what? Alright, you were in that school before it happened. That's why you don't know. Uncle Yoshio grimaced as if he had said too much. As though he'd mentioned something that I shouldn't know about. What is it? You can't leave me hanging like that. Well, I think you're mature enough now. If you think my body looks underdeveloped, you should see an eye doctor. Either that or you're a pedo. Okay. I'll talk. It happened again the year after that. What happened? Wait, what are you talking about? Tick. When I was very little, I always had this tick before I heard something bad. It was like a gnome who lived inside me giving me a warning. Like he was poking me with my small needle. When I felt the tick before my parents called me, they'd always either chide me or tell me something bad. So I used to run away when I felt it. But my senses seemed to have grown dull over the years. Even though my gnome poked at me, I just sat there. Do you after the death of the Hojos? It happened again. Last year, in other words. Did it happen there of Watanagashi? Again? 2 years in a row? That's right. You know, there's a shrine in Hinamizawa. The Fruta Shrine? The priest suddenly died one night of the festival. He said the cause of death was an unknown illness. The same night, his wife threw herself into the swamp. There was a big uproar. The mayor even had to hold an emergency meeting. Okay, now we're Higurashi when they cry. Kai doing a cut while Shion is brought up to speed. I don't think the bit about the illness is true. But his death was very sudden. The priest was busy preparing for the festival. He'd gotten sick around that time. So I guess he died of a heart attack or something. But it's just crazy that somebody died on the day of Watanagashi again. It's the 3rd time in a row. It's unbelievable that so many people have died on the exact same day. It's Mion and Shion. The coroner didn't find anything unusual about the cause of death, so nobody suspects that anything was wrong. But you're right, that the whole situation is abnormal. Only people who were likely to be cursed died on the day of the festival. There must have been something behind this. Whether it's a conspiracy or a curse, that has to be it. I decided to meet with Mion at the library near the Okonomiya train station. It's not that I don't trust Mion, but I don't want to let her know where I live. Not many people use the library, so I won't see anyone from Hinamizawa here. It's very convenient for the meeting only in secret. After we discussed my life plan and work schedule, we moved to small talk. I've been away from this town for years. Things have changed. I asked Mion about the changes in detail in order to fill in the gaps. While talking about various things, I brought up what Uncle Yoshio had told me about Urashio-sama's curse. Even before I left town, the curse had already struck twice. So she was only there for a bit over a year? Almost 2 years, probably? Dismemberment murder on the first year left quite an impact. And the year after, the pro-dam activist couple fell off the cliff. On the day the villagers were enjoying the first Watanagashi festival, since the dam project was indefinitely frozen. The one also left quite the impact. The evil construction site manager was punished, and the next year the traitor to the village met a similar fate. If it had happened only once, people would have concluded that it was just a bizarre coincidence. When it happened 2 years in a row, people were far more likely to believe it was a curse. I knew up to that part. And after I left town, the curse struck again for the third time. People talk about the curse more intensely than ever, both in Hinamizawa and Okonomiya. I have to rethink this. Oshio-sama's curse has drastically gained credibility while I was away. I was still unclear with the first two incidents, but after I continued for 3 years straight, people's doubts changed to convictions. Even though the priest who died on the third year wasn't an enemy of the villagers, the fact that people in Hinamizawa didn't care for much added even more credibility to the idea. Wasn't the priest hated by a few? Especially by the committee members? Yeah, they criticized him for being a fence sitter. He doesn't sound like the previous voice actor of Mion. I wonder. A moment. That's sound effects. That's audio presets. Yeah, that's definitely not it. Anything else here that could be it? Sprite styles, background styles. No, I don't think there's voice actor styles. I guess they just get different VAs for the first 4 and the latter 4? Or I've just gone crazy. You know, insanity is always an option. Yeah, they criticized him for being a fence sitter. Towards the end of the dam conflict, the protesters were all talking aggressive stances. So they don't like how soft he was being. The priest had looked strict and scary. The way he spoke was always formal. But in reality, he was very warm and reserved. Maybe it was because he was a son-in-law having married into his family. Sure, the priest and his personality were the perfect fit for managing the shrine that was used for summer festivals and village meetings. But that gathering spot-style atmosphere at the shrine changed completely when the dam war broke out and became the headquarters of the Onikafuji Guardians. Prior to the dam protests, hardly anyone worshipped Oyoshio-sama. Of course, the devout elderly paid worship to him, but the average person treated our god like you treat fortune-telling. Once the dam protest began, Oyoshio-sama was suddenly hauled out of the symbol of the village's resistance, tracing the Oyoshio-sama faith back to its roots. There's an exclusive elitist faith that believed its members were descended from the holy ancestor, different from the masses at the front of the mountain, and that those tainted masses should never come near the village. Of course, such a self-centered ideology wasn't acceptable anymore in a peaceful post-war Japan. So this doctrine was abandoned over time. Still, the idea remained, and they trudged it back up to fan the flames of nationalism and unite the town against the dam project. With the revival of those ideas, things only grew more radical by the day. And it didn't take very long for the Onagafuchi Guardians to become aggressive. After that, we were in a state of war. 100 million burning as one. Kill the white savages. Want not but victory. Kill the white savages. Adults and kids both were gnawing at the bit, avid to repel the foreign invaders. Describing it like that makes it sound like kind of awful, like a reminder of the dark times of wartime Japan. But like I said before, for us kids it felt less like a war and more like a village-wide festival. Yet despite calling it a festival, dissenters were treated coldly. Their heartlessness lived up to the expression wartime regime. The Hojo couple who voiced their acceptance of their dam project in the midst of the atmosphere were truly brave. Then on the second year of the curse, they died in an accident, and everyone believed it was Oroshio-sama's curse without question. So they were branded traitors and enemies of the village. The Hojo couple faced worse than just being ostracized as traitors. Everyone gave them the cold shoulder and talked behind their backs. The only person who didn't treat them badly was the priest. While the priest never objected to anti-dam protest movements, he also never objected to Hojo couple advocacy for accepting the government's eviction and restitution to build new lives. Those unforgivable Hojos became a slogan at the three families, especially the Sonzakis, uniting the village by turning them into scapegoats. So they must have found it very shameful to have a fellow member of the three families approve of that, especially when it was the priest of the shrine that had become a symbol of the dam protests. As central figures in Hinamizawa, the three families were backbones of the Onagafuchi Guardians, so a difference of opinion was understandable, and the priest was never accused of anything. But secretly, people whispered that he was a heretic, that he was unfit to serve as Oroshio-sama's priest, that Oroshio-sama's curse would soon strike him down, along with other rumors. Don't you think the priest was more mature than those around him? He was a pretty cool, managing to keep his head and remain neutral while everyone else around him grew fervent. I thought Mion would share my opinion when I chimed back in. So when Mion gave me a forced smile and didn't agree with me, I was taken by surprise. If he was really mature, I think he would have coordinated with the others. He should have appeased them. He wasn't just the head priest, he was also the head of the Furude family. That was a time when all the Hinamizawa needed to be united. So one of the families who was supposed to serve examples to serve the harmony was... I don't know if I should call that should be called mature. It's hard for me to tell. I was taken aback. Bale managed to say the following. So even though we're identical twins, we still had our own unique identities. Every now and then, our opinions differed. But usually, only over trivial matters. We've never had a difference of opinion this big. It wasn't an enjoyable feeling. I decided to probe her some more. I don't really like the word used, appease. What are you trying to say? Are you saying the priest should have thought of the village as a whole and kept his opinion a secret? Mean people shouldn't assert their self before the whole? I'm not going that far. It's just that I thought as a member of the three families, you should have acted more careful. That's what I mean. Mion faltered a bit as my tongue grew more like a cross-examination. I realized I was speaking a bit too harshly. What Mion expressed was probably the more mature opinion on a scale. Everyone needs to work together to stand up to a vast enemy like the government. People should refrain from actions that would destabilize the alliance. Writing it out like that, reading it now, I can understand that. But I wasn't mature enough to agree to such a totalitarian idea. Or maybe it wasn't me at all. It was Mion who'd made that mature judgment. We've been separated for over a year. I've been away from the town. In the meantime, Mion has been training to take over the leadership of the Sonozaki family. She'd been treated as such even before I was confined into that institution. She sat next to the hag in ceremonies and in meetings. She took her place when the hag was absent. But that was just it. We're never that different. Mion has become very like a successor since I've been gone. Uh-huh. You sound like a grown-up now. You seem to get what I was implying. Am I thinking like Granny now? That's good. You're the successor. You shouldn't think like the rest. You definitely learned the art of ruling. I never learned anything like that. Just trying to act like her. You can do it easily too. I don't want to. It's your role. Well, don't try too hard or you'll tire yourself out. I don't mean to be cold, but Mion seemed to take it that way. She smiled as if trying to pacify me. I smiled gently back at her. Sis? I mean, Mion? What? What is it? Our separation has always been tough. Our names, the place where we live, and our bodies. You look down with a serious face, but then looked right back up. Maybe you think I'm jealous of that, but I'm not. We used to have some disagreements. They were always small and forgettable. You shouldn't have to feel sorry for anything. Up until now, up until birth, we were perfectly equal. Right after birth, we were separated by grown-ups' priorities. I used to get mad about it when I was little. There's no denying that. We don't have to start a disagreement over it. Mion seemed to understand what I'm trying to say. We each have our own characteristics, even though we're identical twins. Only we know the differences. We also depend on each other because of them. Mion seemed more dependent. She always worries about me. If somebody gave her a cookie, she divided it in two and gave me one half to me. Somebody gave her candy, she'd wait until I said it was okay to eat it. On the contrary, I'm cold. I don't care about others if I'm satisfied. To put the candy in my mouth, I'd put the candy in my mouth right away. I have to emphasize that I don't hate her, and I am well aware that she loves me. We both know that. Mion must have been hesitating to put the candy or the successor in her mouth and was waiting to see if I'm okay with that. Do your best, Mion. I'll do my best as Shion too. I tapped her forehead with my fist lightly. Mion put the forehead against my fist as if trying to feel the warmth. She is Mion, and I am Shion. She's the successor to the Sonozaki family. I'm just a vagabond. That isn't a distinction, but rather our individuality. We shouldn't worry too much about the other anymore. We should feel relaxed, living as who we are with our own characteristics. I don't have to say any of that out loud. Communicate by touch, just like this. Okay. Thanks. Shion. No worries, Mion. Let's talk to each other whenever we want to. Like we've always been. That'll never change, right? Okay. Okay. Mion kept nodding with her forehead against my fist. I said goodbye to Mion before I turned to evening. We had talked about things that happened during my time away, and I enjoyed having the chat between sisters very much. We are able to dissolve our unsettled emotions. We didn't used to do that. Maybe it's because we hadn't seen each other in over a year. It was late afternoon. My heart felt lighter now. I stretched and looked up to the sky. The sky was clear, blue, and far away. No matter how tall I grew, I'd never be able to touch the sky. I'm Shion Sonozaki, a girl who escaped from the life she was forced to live. Nobody will praise me for what I did and for what I'm going to do. But this is what I chose. Hahaha. I can think maturely too. I psyched myself up. I should go shopping for dinner. Though I have a Kasai sub, I need to save money. I love junk food, but it'd be cheaper to cook. Ironically, the culinary classes from the evil school will come in handy. Why not go shopping to the shopping district in Kami-Ishiki? Huh? If I'm going there, then I'd need to take the other street. Cool breeze in the late afternoon felt nice on my skin. As I came to the door, was putting stuff I bought into the
あ、待
fridge.
って待って。
Wait a sec.
今鍵開け
I'm
ます。
coming. It's not Kasai. It is.
お買い物の帰りですか
Did you go grocery shopping? Super Brain, first live.
お疲れ様
You
で
must
す
be tired.
買い物程度で
I
疲れ
don't
てちゃ
get
たまん
tired
ない
from
よ。
grocery shopping.
あ、
Oh,
野菜
do you
も
want
食べ
dinner?
とく。独り者には
I
スーパー
brought
の
enough
野
for you
菜
two.
とタイ。
よろしいんで
Is
す
that
か
alright?
ご厄介
If
に
you
な
say
って
so,
もいい
I'll be
の
happy
でし
to.
たらぜひ
Kasai looked curious about what I'd cook.
チ
Huh.
ェその顔は全
Don't
然信
you
じて
don't
ないな。
look like you believe in my cooking
見
skills.
てろ。
You'll pay for that later.
これらは
Are
冷
you
蔵庫
putting
でいい
these
ん
in
で
the
すか
refrigerator?
入れておきます
I'll
が
do it.
あ、悪いね。
Oh, thanks.
二人分だと
Is
お米
that
は
amount of rice enough for two?
よっこらし
Here we go.
だ。
Kasai skillfully packed food in the fridge while glancing at each item in turn. He noticed something.
シオンさん
Shion-san,
相変わらず
you still
缶詰
hate
はダメなんで
canned
すか
food? I hadn't bought any. That was, of course, on purpose.
缶詰を避けて
It must be hard to
買い物は
avoid
う
it.
ん。
Uh,
理屈じゃ
I
分
know
か
it's
んないけど
illogical.
無理強いされ
Maybe
り
I
ゃ
should eat
食
it
べない
if
と
somebody
いけない
forced me
けど
to.
うん
Maybe
それで
I
も
could eat it if
私は
somebody
やっぱ
forced
り
me
パ
to.
スだな。
No, on second thought, I definitely couldn't.
悪かったと思い
I
ま
feel
す
really sorry.
少しふざけすぎたと思っています
I know I was out of the line then.
だからそろそ
Please
ろ
forget about that story.
あー
shut up.
男が厨房
Men
に
shouldn't
キャラ
hang
キャラ
around in
出
the
るしな
kitchen.
テレビでも見て
Go
て
watch TV or
おとなしく
something.
しててよ。
Kasei chuckled and left. I know this sounds stupid, but I hate canned food. If somebody told me there was canned food in the meal I just ate, I'd throw up. It started with a silly thing. Pastor told me of a horror story when I was little. You know, one of those urban legends about meat made from an unknown source. Oh, really? Like those rumors about when there's worm meat mixed into burger patties or dog meat in beef bowls. Kasa had fun telling me of one of those stories because of how scared I got. He had fun, but I obviously didn't. I even started to cry in the canned food section of the supermarket. That's how much I hated it. I don't freak out like that anymore. But I still don't like canned food. Since I don't like it, I don't force myself, and I now live my life naturally avoiding canned food. Honestly, that's probably healthy for you. One of the big differences between us twins is that Mion doesn't have this issue. Kasa feels responsible for this, but he can't rid me of that fear. Still, a flaw like this is actually a good thing, otherwise I'd be too perfect.
ダサい
Kasai, set the tables, would you?
いい匂いで
That's
すが
good.
ごちそうになり
Thank you
ま
for
す
doing this.
量が足りないと思ったら
If this isn't
あとは
enough
勝
food,
手に
you
牛
can
丼屋
go
さんに
to a
でも
beef
行
bowl
くこと
place later on or
あ
something.
テレビは切らない
And
で
don't turn off the TV.
私は静かに
I hate
食
having
べた
dinners
くて
in
やつが
silence.
苦手だから。
では
Thank you
いた
for
だ
the
きま
meal.
す
で、
So,
ダサい何の
what
用
is
だ
it,
ったの
Kasai?
何か用事があってき
You
たんで
came
し
here
ょ
for something, didn't you? Oh, there goes a pot. I handed him a cup of tea. Oh, is that a second one? I think it's the second one. I could wait until dinner was out, but I wanted to get to the point quickly.
食事が終わってからの方がいいかと
I
思って
thought
ましたが
I should wait until we
食
finished,
べなが
but
らにしますか
would you mind if you talk while eating?
ダサいが来た時点で
It's
ず
been
っと
bugging me since
何
you
の
got
量
here.
か気になってるから先に言ってくれた
I'd
方
be
が
much
ご
easier
飯の通りがよ
for
く
me
て
to
いい
eat
かも
if
で
you
す
started talking now.
自宅に学園から電
We
話
received a
が
phone
今
call
日
from
あ
the
りま
school
した
today.
今
Today? Haha, that's
日
late.
よっぽ
Sounds
ど
like they
表沙汰
didn't
に
want
した
to
く
make
な
it
かった
public. Hahaha.
で
So
どう
what
だった
happened?
電話は
Akane-san
取り
took
ま
the
した
call.
親父さんに
She
は
said
後
she
で
was
折を
going to
見
tell
て
your
話
father
すそう
when
で
the
す
time is right. Akane is my mom. That's why Kasai calls her, as he's known her since before her marriage.
で
So,
母さんなんか
what
言っ
did
て
she
た
say? I was lucky she answered the phone, since she's relatively on my side. Whoops.
仕方のないやつ
Other than calling
ど
you
う
a
も
brat,
こういう結
she
果
didn't
も
seem
決し
surprised
て
by
予
this
想外で
outcome.
はなかっ
うーん
I see.
親父にはまだ知らせて
She
ないんだ
hasn't told Dad yet.
茜さん
She's
なり
probably
に
waiting
タイ
for
ミ
the
ン
right
グを測
moment.
って多分
I think
2、
she's going
3
to
日中には話す
she's
のだと
going to in
思
a
いま
couple
す
of days.
親父はばあさん寄りだから
Dad is
な
on grandma's side.
耳に入
So
れば自動的に
he'll
あいつにも
definitely
伝え
talk
る
to
だろ
her
う
if
な
he hears about it.
で伝わっ
Then
た
she'll
ら見
have
つけ次
her
第
men
即
bring
刻
me to
国
her.
申し開きのいかん
Depending
で
on my
は
explanation,
指の一
make
本
me
や
offer
二
a
本に
finger
お
or
っ
two.
かないこと
Scary.
笑い事で済め
Wish you
ばい
could
いん
laugh
で
it off.
シオンさん
But
の
please
指だ
remember,
けじ
you're
ゃ
not the
済ま
only
ない
one
かも
who.
あちちち
Ouch. You're eating too fast.
ち
Oh,
な
I
みに
cooked
味
too
噌
much
汁も
rice
ご飯も
and
作り
miso
すぎて
soup.
るから
So
お
you'll
かわりは
have
強制ね
so you have to have another round.
3杯は絶対
At
食べ
least
る
three
こと
helpings, alright? A few days later, Mio told me that a hack had heard about my escape.
で
So,
ばあさんはどんな
how
感
did
じ
she
だ
take it? She was furious. She said that if you were in Okonomiya, she'd get you right away.
う怖い
Scary.
実
And
際に
is
親父
that
とか
doing
にと
anything?
現金の親戚
They'll
会議で
hold a
費
family
用を
council
かかって
soon
ないか
to
問い
see
ただ
if
きに
any of
来
the
て
family members are hiding you.
でも
It
高
doesn't
いの
look
に
like
巻
they'll
き紐を
have the
探させる
greenhorns
とか
search for you
そうい
all
う
over
真似は
town
しない
though.
みたいだよ
Holding a family council means that things will remain in the hag's hands alone. She won't search a town for me. It's like she's unofficially approving my presence. Of course, I'll get caught immediately if they find me in a large public
母さんが
place.
随分暗躍して
Seems
くれ
like
たみたいだ
Mom
ね
did a lot to help me. I can tell she's being supportive. It's a long story, but my mom is sort of an outlaw, even though she's of the Sonozaki bloodline. A long time ago, she had a huge fight with the hag because she hated the family rules and traditions. She was even excommunicated. My mom was supposed to be the successor, but she was deprived of the title and Sis took her place instead. While she is quiet now, Mom's still an outlaw. She's always been on my side, because I also hate rules and
親
traditions.
父最
Dad
初はすっごく
was
カンカンだった
flaring
らし
up
いよ
at first.
母さんがだいぶ
Mom
やられたら
pacified
何
him.
のかんの言っても
Can't win against her after all.
オッケー
Okay,
やった
thanks.
また何かあっ
Let
た
me
ら
know if
教えて
something
ね
comes up.
本当の本当
If
にやば
things
く
really
な
go
ったら
bad, I'm ready to
私
leave
も
town.
葛西とか吉
I
郎おじ
can't
さん
let
とか
Kasai, Uncle Yoshio, or
それ
Mom
に
lose
母さんと
face.
かおね
Sis, I know what you're
あんた
thinking.
どうして同じ
You're
血
asking
を分けた
yourself
姉
why I
妹なの
only
に
have to go through
シオン
this
だけこん
even
な
though
隠
we're
れるよう
twins,
に
aren't
生
we?
活しなきゃならない
Miriam was silent. That meant yes.
シオンだけ
It isn't fair that only you have to live like
そんな
this.
窮屈な絶対
It's absolutely not.
ありがとう
Thanks.
気持ちだけ
I
でも
appreciate
嬉
your
しいです
feelings.
表に出たい
Tell
時
him when
と
you
か
want to go
シオ
out.
ンがいつでも
I'll
シオン
arrange
に
my
なれるよ
plans
う
so that I can
協
trade
力する
places
から
with
さ
you. She sounded apologetic. I shouldn't go quiet or agree with her. She sticks to things a little too much. Once she goes down, she'll stay there for a while. So I just told her
あ
simply,
りがとう
Thanks.
実はそれが
That's
一番
really
乗
nice
り
of you.
じゃあ切りますね
I'm okay. I'm hanging up now.
じゃあね
Talk to you later. Higurashi when they cry. Seriously, they're so harmonious. How do they end up pretty much hating each other's guts? A smudge diary. Man, chapters are going fast this time. Sadako was crying while hiding behind my back. Ooh. She's been crying while clinging onto me, so my back was wet with tears and snot. My aunt had been screaming hysterically, but she looked tired now. I suddenly realized that it was already past 1 in the morning. She vomited out a series of screams one last time and then finally called it quits. Sadako seemed exhausted, just looking down in a state of shock. Even after my aunt walked away, she didn't realize she had been freed. So I stroked her head and told
終わ
her,
ったよ
It's over, Sadako.
さとこ
Sadako twitched. Her eyes grew bright again and tears rolled down her cheek. She looked up at my face. She knew it was over, but wanted to hear it directly from me. She begged me with a look. To be honest, I was really exhausted too, so I felt a little annoyed when she tried to make me say it. But I needed to pacify her, so I gently told her that what she wanted to hear. She's done with her
おば
scolding.
さんの小言は
Let's
終
go
わ
to
った
sleep.
ねよ。
Alright? Sadako clung to me with her tears continuing to fall. She was crying again silently. Sadako was shivering pitifully. Her small back reminded me of that there was nobody else to protect her.
さあ、
Here. Go brush your
歯
teeth.
を磨いて、
Make your bed.
そしてぐ
Go to
っすり
sleep.
休もう。
Sadako smiled faintly and nodded. I felt dizzy. As I was released from the strain, a harsh drowsiness fell upon me. When Sadako was washing her face, I went to the toilet. I zoned out while watching my pee. In my dizziness, I almost missed the shot. Felt like I was about to be sucked into the toilet. Couldn't even remember what caused it. Why did my aunt start screaming today? Alright, the diary is from Satoshi. Makes sense. It's the 4th year, after all. Let's continue. It's a very quiet afternoon as always. Since I can't go outside as myself, I have to match schedules with Mion when I go shopping. I got used to it by now, so it's no longer a hassle. Because of this, I naturally have to buy things in bulk. Today I shuttled between shops and my house. I got this, I got that. Oh wait, isn't it a 100 yen sale day today? I forgot this. Being in a good mood, I spun around with my arms spread out, but like a little whirlwind. My arms hit a motorcycle parked on the sidewalk. It was obviously wasn't where it was supposed to. Ow! What the? Who parked the motorcycle here? I gave it a kick without hesitation. There were 3 motorcycles lined up in a row. Deja vu. It all fell like dominoes. It was a beautiful sight. This is fun, I thought. Being in such a good mood made me leave my guard down. Didn't realize that the owners of motorcycles were right nearby. They looked pretty scary. They grabbed me by my neck and dragged me into a dark alley. And they called me all kinds of names. Everything was happening too quickly for me to grasp what's going on. The fuck? The fuck are you, bitch? What you think you're doing, huh? Fucking bash your head in, bitch. Rah. Gonna pay for what she did. Whoa. They can't really talk properly. I don't have a clue what they're saying. I had to translate their alien tongue into normal human words in order to understand. You're upset because you knocked down our motorcycles. You should have immediately paid for repair and compensation. Yeah, that was probably it. That's our offer. What do you say? Be happy to listen to your opinion. Something like that. Huh? What? Sorry. I don't think I can continue interpreting. Huh? What you're saying? I know what they're trying to say, but somebody has to warn them. By the way, they parked their motorcycles. It wouldn't be fair to those who obey the rules. There were no punishment for those who have disobeyed them. This is an accident, but I must also be God's will. But God, you can use me to punish these guys. But how will you compensate me later? I heaved a huge sigh. Of course, I wasn't afraid of the situation at all, because it wasn't a dangerous one for me. These 3 guys were yelling at the top of their lungs at a girl. They didn't look good doing it. They had too many disadvantages. First, there was this difference in gender in the number of people. Even if I did something wrong, as men shouting at a woman, it didn't make them look like they were in the right. Add to that, there were 3 of them. It already looked like it's going to get violent. Second, location. Taking a girl into a dark, narrow alley is already a bad idea. On top of that, they're asking for money, not just an apology. Thanks to these facts, the public will be on my side. But this is a fight they couldn't possibly win. The only way for them to win would be to take my money before somebody finds out. Considering that taking me to this narrow, secluded alleyway might have been a smart move, and fewer people will find out about the situation. You're listening or not? I knew how slim the chances of winning were. From the very beginning, they had picked the wrong girl. I'm Mion Suzaki now. It'd be foolish to mock her in Okonomiya. Soon enough, the people of Hinamizawa would notice me and gather around. They don't spare mercy for their enemies, no matter what. Punks didn't know this area well. If they did, they'd have known how silly it was to rob Mion. Plus, the alleyway isn't always as empty as they assumed. The side street is a shortcut which local people frequently use in their way home. In the late afternoon, many people will be passing through here. The time has almost arrived. If I held off a little longer, the streets will soon be filled with people. Then the punks would have to go away. I don't have to do anything. I just have to wait in order to win. This was a simple fight like that. While they could hurl abusive language at me or lift me by the collar, they weren't actually going to resort to violence. Cheers to the educational system for ingraining the ladies first mindset. But as a wicked person, I wanted to toy with them a bit. Even though I could win this by waiting. I wanted to paint them as even more villainous and drive them into a corner that would be even harder to talk out their way out of. The demonic desire was rearing its horns. Put it plainly, I'd only need to act as a poor, helpless victim a little further. Like the pathetic, pitiful, tragic heroine everybody wants to sympathize with. In a case like that, I shouldn't start crying immediately, as they'd get nervous and draw back. If it were a truly threatening situation, that would work, but I needed something different here. I'd pretend to be strong at first. In fact, I thought, why don't I challenge them? And eventually, I started trembling, my voice would fade, and I'd get tears in my eyes. It'd be even better if I played the role of a strong girl who's slowly giving in to fear. Me and I are probably the only ones who are capable of pulling that kind of stuff off. Well, I'm probably better than her. Why don't you let me go now? I already apologized. Tuck back with a little hesitation. Am I getting tears yet? Yes. By the way, I heard men can shed tears on command. I feel sorry for them. The three punks faltered a bit due to my sudden change in attitude. They soon started yelling at me again. I had to keep it going. That's why they blatantly look like they're picking on a helpless girl. Please, forgive me. Thick. Oh, what you doing? What did this girl, huh? I didn't hook you. Oh, maybe you should apologize like that from the start. Looked like they were laying off a bit. You know, we'll do it a bit. It'd be boring if they let me go now. At that moment, Satoshi? Yep. Cut it out. Don't you see her crying? Stop it. A boy around my age appeared. He was skinny. He looked weak. He looked younger than he probably was. He also looked smart. He bravely glared at the punks. What the hell? Who the fuck are you? Back the fuck off! The punks turned away from me to face the boy instead. The boy looked a bit agitated when the punks started yelling at him. They sure were ruthless, but the boy must have known that from the beginning. He must have known that he was going to get into a dangerous situation, yet he didn't hesitate. Fucking say something! Why don't you answer us? He must have wanted to shout back at them. He'd probably never used that kind of language in his life. So he couldn't have expressed his feeling out loud. He might not have known what to say. He just kept on glaring at them, to let them know that he wasn't going anywhere. The three punks, though, might have thought he was just lost for words in fear. But I knew differently. The boy was overpowering them with nothing but his will. The punks were losing, so they resorted to violence. They grabbed him and knocked him down. They kicked him and tossed him around. Looked painful, but I knew. It was his victory. In the end, local passersby stopped the punks. They made no further fuss and just went away. The boy stood up, he was covered in dust. He smiled when ours met. He asked me if I was alright. didn't look particularly okay
あ
himself.
んたも
How could you step into a
よ
fight
く
you
もま
obviously
あ
couldn't win?
次からは勝て
Pick
る
your
三段
opponent's
が
banner
つい
next
てから
time.
喧嘩を買うこと
最初は
I
迷った
hesitated
よ
at first. He laughed, saying that he was watching from the very beginning. That meant he had the option to walk away. But instead, he worked up the courage and stepped
そう
in.
いうのは
That was
身の
reckless,
程知らず
not
とも言う
brave.
かな
うん
Nah,
ミオンは口
you're
が
being a
嫌い
little harsh, Mion.
助けてくれ
You should at least say thank you.
泣いてたじゃないか
So are you crying?
Yeah.
No, I
別
wasn't
に泣い
crying.
てなんかいあれはちょ
That's
っと
just
した
an
演
act.
技で
いいよ
Okay, okay. Hey,
信じて
you
ない
don't
でし
believe
ょ
me, do you?
私が本
Do you really think I cry?
殿
No.
下ごめんの園崎美音が
Nobody'd believe Mion
不良
Suzaku
に
would
いじめ
cry
ら
when
れて
punks
泣き出し
bullied
たなん
her.
て
Why are you
全然
laughing?
信
You
じ
really
てない
don't
でしょ
believe me. That was an act?
私が鼻毛
I
なん
never
ですよ
cry. I believe
信じる
you.
か
I
ら信じる
do.
から
No, here's one thing. You must be one of Sis's friends. Didn't seem to realize I'm her twin. Thought it was Mion with a different hairstyle. Mion and I had to live separately since before we went to elementary school. Mion was in Hinamizawa. I was in Okonomiya. I lived in a totally different environment from her. So it was not strange that people don't know me. Actually, only very few people know I exist. Really? You were in the village for a while. You were only away for like a year or two. So, you know, surprised they wouldn't know? Oh well. I mean, she must have gone to the school in, what's it called? Hinamizawa until like 2 years ago. And so did Satoshi probably. Eh. Shion shouldn't be here. He's from Hinamizawa. It wouldn't be good if he thought he saw a Mion lookalike in Okonomiya. So had to act like Mion. Dealing with him could be more difficult than handling those punks.
でもま
Well,
ミオンにも
I was
少
just
しは
worried because you seem to have a girly side after all.
なんだか
You sound hostile. What exactly do you mean by that?
つまりはどういう意味です
ミオンのことだか
Thought you'd kick those guys'
なんだか
butts with some crazy martial
珍妙な
arts. I was really surprised when you started crying. Hey!
あれは泣
Like I said, I was
さっ
acting.
きから人の
Weren't you
話
listening at
ちゃん
all?
と聞いて
Gently put his hand on top of her head and stroked it as if stroking a kitten. I could remember someone doing that to me when I was a little, but have been quite a while since somebody stroked my head. I don't know what to do. Why did it make me so embarrassed? Already my face reddened at once and I couldn't say anything. Hey,
ひょっとし
are you
て
making fun of me? I let out in embarrassment. He looked calm as if he was used to doing this.
ら
Whatever.
よかったじゃないか
Aren't you glad
よ
though?
かったって
Glad? What do you mean?
無事で
Well, you didn't get hurt. He smiled while he kept stroking my head. His smile looked divine. He wasn't going to stay for long. He'd already saved me from those guys after all. Okay, I'm starting to believe I know how their terrible breakup went. I think Mion may like Satoshi. And I think Shion just will as well. And they're going to have a rough breakup over that. Which makes the whole... What's it called? The whole cage situation even worse. But also... If they really broke up over a cat fight, I guess. That would be sad. It's already saved me from those guys after all.
じゃ
Well, I need to be going.
あそろそろ行くね
I should head off now. Oh, okay. Wanted to go through all the steps of meeting someone for the first time, but he didn't. As far as he was concerned, he was just saved a friend from danger. Wanted to leave quickly to avoid seeming pretentious. He and Mion must be friends who knew each other well. I couldn't bring myself to ask, what's your name? Mion's friend smiled once again. His smile looked as refreshing as clear blue sky. This time he smiled a bit mischievously. Haha, don't worry.
ミオンが泣い
Won't
て
tell
る
anybody you're crying.
誰にも言わない
Well, nobody would believe it if I told them anyway.
天下無双の
Nobody
委員
would
長が
believe
泣いて
that
た
our
なんて
invincible class president cried. He patted the dust off his butt once again. He walked back to the stunning main road, away from the dark alley. Then he turned around.
じゃあまた
See you
学校でね
in school tomorrow, I mean.
うん
Yeah,
学校
see you in school. Then he turns out, I knew you'd not be on because we don't have school tomorrow and we would know that and you'll not be under your shield and we were looking for you and I've reported you to your hack. I'm sorry. He disappeared into the brightly lit street. I continued to sit in the gloomy alleyway. No longer see him. Just staring absentmindedly at the bright light. That was the first time I met Satoshi-kun. I'm not even allowed to walk freely under the sun. I met a boy on a sunny day. How come a perverse girl like me fell in love with his innocence? Notebook page 5.
そりゃサトシだよ
That must be
そ
Satoshi.
の特徴的
Looks
な
like
雰囲
what you
気と
described, and he has a habit of stroking people's
う
heads.
ーん
Uh-huh.
サトシく
It
ん
was Satoshi-kun,
って言
eh?
うんだ
The boy from earlier is called Satoshi Hojo-kun. Mion said that he's always daydreaming. So she doesn't believe that he saved me at
普
first.
段は
Little
しっかり
sister
者
is always
の
kicking his
妹に
butt.
いろいろと
うーん
Uh-huh.
妹がい
He
る
has a little sister?
うん
Yeah.
妹
her
は
name is
サトシ
Satoko.
なかなか面
She's
白
funny
いなかなか悪
and
知恵
shrewd.
がそのくせ追い詰められ
But
る
is
と懐
quick
か
to
しい
cry when she's
見
cornered.
てて退屈
It's
しな
fun
い子
to
で
watch.
な
But things have
最
been
近
rough for
は
her
ちょ
lately,
っと調子
so
を
she's
取
feeling
っ
a
て
bit
るけど
down. This sister came up naturally in the conversation. Tried to soak up the every scrap of information about Satoshi-kun. Why? Why am I trying to ask so much about him? As I asked myself, the feeling I got when he stroked my head came back to me. Must have been blushing.
もしもし
Hello?
シオン
Shion? Eh?
聞いてる
Sorry.
聞いてる
I'm here, I'm listening.
そもそもね
To start,
サトコが
I
お
hear
ばと折り
Satoko's
合い
on
が
bad
悪い
terms
ら
with
し
her
いサ
aunt.
トシは大人だから
Satoshi's mature,
その辺は
so
うまく
he
立ち回って
knows
るんだ
how
け
to
どさ
conduct himself.
サトコは
When
嫌なことがあると
bad things
素直
happen,
に上手
Sadako
になっちゃ
really
うんだよ
lets
ね
herself go. What sis told me was very interesting. She told me that the parents of Satoshi-kun and his little sister are dead. Satoshi-kun and Satoko are now living with their uncle and aunt. They don't seem like they're very respectable people. They're always fighting and the uncle is cheating on the aunt. He mostly lives with his mistress. Satoshi-kun and Satoko entered into the unwelcome environment. What surprises me the most is the fact that Satoshi-kun's parents were a Hojo couple who were the leaders in the pro-dam activists. The fact must have added something to the situation. I don't know what kind of stance the uncle and aunt took during the dam conflict, but they must have taken some indirect blows. That would make sense. Satoshi-kun's parents died after bothering them so much and left them their children. The uncle and aunt obviously can't love these kids. Those things have gotten worse this past year too. Women can be really nasty bullies. Sometimes it doesn't matter who they're bullying, even if it's a kid. On top of that, women tend to care less about property than men. As a result, Sadako seems exhausted with it all. Imagine. I can imagine Satoshi-kun bravely protecting his little sister, just like when he saved me.
なら
So, he must be exhausted too,
サトシ君も
right? Huh?
サトコがおばに
Must
い
be
じめ
current
られる
stuff
た
all
び
the
に
time.
妹が疲
He
れるの
wouldn't
と同
just
じくらい
wouldn't. So
サト
wouldn't
シ
you
君も
normally
疲れてる
assume
と思うのは
that he'd be feeling worn out?
うん
Well,
どうだろうね
I don't know. Can I said something wrong? Mion sounded a bit taken aback. So that meant Mion can't tell how he's feeling, because he's always wearing the blank look. So she never considered it. How can she be that insensitive, even though she's around him all the time? I was amazed to realize
まあ
that.
そんな話
Well,
はで
anyway,
彼は普段は
what
どんな
does
こと
he
をし
usually
て
do?
文系みたい
He
だ
looks
から
smart, so
読書と
does
か
he
好き
read
な
a
の
lot of books?
ね
Yeah, you're right.
ちょう
He
ど
likes to read.
最近読んでる本はね
He's now reading. What's it called?
なんて言ったかな
Continued asking him about what he likes, dislikes, and what he thinks about. I asked his oldest question because I wanted to know more about him. It was the first time I've been this interested in somebody. I didn't want to admit that I had feelings like that. Did I fall in love just because of a stroke on the head? Am I stupid or what? When I remembered the feeling of his head on hand of my head, my heart felt tingly. I started doing it myself, but it didn't feel the same. Hahaha, I'm stupid. What am I doing stroking my own head?
おね
Sis, I'm done for. I became stupid. But why are you laughing? Is in that weird voice? You won't understand the feeling, sis. When would I see him again? I felt as if a suffocating life had finally grown brighter. Okay, Mion does not seem interested in him. Higurashi when they cry, Kai. The life I lived really was beginning to suffocate me. I couldn't go freely, and I always had to make arrangements with Mion before going to work. I thought my life would improve after escaping from school, but in reality, it wasn't that easy. It's not healthy to live life like this for not too long, without any friends to hang out with. Felt like I was hibernating. I'd started to feel like the dangers of falling into boredom. All I could think of now was Satoshi Hojo-kun's face. I'd only met him briefly, but my encounter with him had a great impact on my new life. Felt like something exciting was going to happen. Really, I was hyped up like a little kid. The more I thought about it, I realized I'd been thinking about him a lot lately. This might be a crush. I felt a little ridiculous idolizing him in such a romantic way, though. Then, out of the blue, I got a chance to see him again.
あれ
Oh? I saw a familiar face at twilight in the park. He was sitting on the swing. It looked like he was zoning out, maybe deep in thought. He didn't notice me even though I was right in front of him. Mind myself to speak and act like Mion before talking to him.
へい
Hey,
何やってんだ
what are you
こん
doing
なとこ
here?
でさ
ミオンか
Mion,
びっくりしたな
surprise me.
そんなに
Don't
驚
look
いてる
surprised.
さっきからいた
Been
んだ
standing
け
here for
ど
a couple of
ずっ
minutes
と気
now.
づかなかった
Didn't you notice me?
そうなのかい
Have you?
ごめん
Sorry, I
気づ
didn't.
かなかったよ
He smiled self-derisively and shrugged. He looked depressed. Like something was troubling him.
何か
Is something bugging you?
聞いて楽になるも
Talk
の
to
な
me
ら
if you want
聞
to.
くし
Maybe I can help.
力になれるものなら惜しまない
いや別に
No, that's
私は
okay.
サトシ君に
Come
は
on, I owe you
一
one
歩借
full
りがある
before
かい
Satoshi
それとも
can.
何
Or
お
maybe
じさんじゃ
you
力
don't
に
think
なれない
this
と思
old
ってる
man
わ
can be
け
of any help?
見くびられたもん
Don't you
だ
think
な
how mighty I am?
別に
I'm
ミ
okay.
オンの力を借
You
り
don't have to help me.
お
Or
ーそれは何
what is it then?
私ごとき
Are
女
you
の
saying
手は
that
借
you
りた
don't
くない
need
っ
help
て
from a
こ
girl?
と
Thinking him unfair, I puffed my cheek up in a sulky gesture. Satoshi noticed that and smiled.
違
No,
うんだよ
Mion.
僕に実
Just
力
I
がな
messed
く
up
て
my swing
ここ一番で
when they needed me the
打てなか
most.
ったってだけのことなんだよ
I mentally rifled through the information Satoshi-kun that Sis had given me. He doesn't look like much of an athlete, but apparently Satoshi-kun belongs to the junior baseball team. They're called the Hinamizawa Fighters. I doubt they're very skilled, since I don't hear much about his contributions to the team. I doubt he's. Maybe that's why he doesn't tell many people that he's a member. Given how down he felt as a result of messing up, though, he must be fairly dedicated. I deduced that from what Sis told me, and carefully chose my words as to sound like her.
なんだ
What?
そんなこと
Are
で
you
落ち込ん
feeling
でるわ
down
け
just because of that?
そんなことで
Hey,
簡単に言ってくれる
not
な
easy
ミオン
to
は
get over me on. I pat his back while chuckling. Toshi-kun would probably call me insensitive. I knew I should listen to him rather than try to cheer him up. Acting like Sis was probably the wrong thing to do in this case, but I had no choice. This was just how she'd react in this situation. Ha 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 ha.
それなら落ち
Instead
込
of
むんじ
feeling
ゃなく
down,
て
you should
なお
practice
一層
even
練
harder
習に
to
打ち込んで次のチャンスを目指すのが適
even
当ってことでしょう
harder
か
and aim for your chance, you know? Practice makes perfect here. Well, if you want to beat the opposing pitcher so badly, you're willing to pull some tricks that might be able to help you in a few ways. There's no point in if I cheat. Satoshi-kun hung his head after letting his regards out with a big sigh. Surrender, defeat, resignation. We're all visible on his visible. We're all visible in that gesture of his. Are you quick to give up or persistent? If you're a man, then don't you want to be a star and have your 15 minutes of fame? Satoshi-kun grinned and said yes.
もちろん
Of course,
ヒー
that'd
ロ
be
ーを目指すの
wonderful.
が花だけど、それが目的で野
But
球をやっ
that's
てるわ
not
けじゃ
why
な
I
い。
play baseball.
純粋にボールを投
I
げた
just
り
have fun
打ったりする
batting
の
and
が
throwing
楽
the
しいから
ball.
ミオンでもそういうのわかるよね。
You understand that, right? This old man isn't sure. I only love games that I can win. Understand how you can love something that you can't be the best at. Ha 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 ha.
もう
Ah. That really sounds like you,
ミオン
Neon.
らしい答えだな。
He realized I'm trying to make him feel better. He laughed along. He didn't look depressed anymore. I guess he was just feeling down because of the game. He wasn't as depressed as I thought. Maybe I just jumped to conclusions when I saw him sitting alone in the park.
でも
You always put forth your
ミオン
best
は
effort to win.
それは偉いと
That's
思う。
admirable, I think.
Mm.
Yeah, it definitely is. He smiled gently, stood up, and he started to stroke my head. All of a sudden. Totally wasn't prepared for that. Eh? Whoa, whoa. Uh-oh. I thought this when he did it last time, but how can he stroke somebody's head so easily? I felt like I had turned into a little kid. Memories from kindergarten came to mind. My face must have been red. I felt embarrassed, but I also like I was in heaven. Toshi-kun stroked me as though petting a cat, splashing with my eyes closed. Felt helpless, girl being treated by the dentist with her mouth open and her eyes shut. Toshi-kun didn't seem to notice my feelings at all. Didn't seem to care. I hate him. My eyes closed. I waited for him to finish. Suddenly withdrew his hand.
じゃあ僕はそろそろ帰るよ。
That was a long head pat. I need to get going. My aunt wants some stuff, so I have to go to grocery shopping. Okay. My voice faltered. I was embarrassed. Huh? I'm going shopping.
私も夕飯の買い
Too.
物
Huh? What?
ミオンも
You are?
お手伝いさん
But
が
the
全
maids
部やって
did all your
くれる
household stuff.
って言ってなかったっけ
Shoot. I messed up. The main Sozaki house. The maids do everything. Therefore, Mion hardly goes grocery shopping, and she's bragged to some people about that. I should have known better. Still, it wouldn't be too bad to find an excuse.
町に遊びに来るつもりでいたか
I
ら
just happened to be in
買い物を
town.
私
I
が
thought
引
I'd
き
help
受
out
け
with
たわけ
household
や
stuff.
お分かり
Is that a problem?
ミオンにしては
That doesn't sound like
珍しいね
you.
普段はそういう
You
の
always avoid doing
めんどくさい
boring
って言
stuff
って
like that.
そういうのを
You
余計な
talk too much. Oh? Stop stroking my head! Which couldn't seem to be having fun with how embarrassed I'd get when he patted me. Anyway, I managed to talk my way out of it. He didn't seem to really care about the details. While walking with Satoshi-kun in the shopping district of Kami Ishiki, it suddenly occurred to me. Why had I messed up? I'd known Mion would never go grocery shopping. What an amateurish mistake. Did I make the mistake when I was pretending to be Mion? No, it's probably speaking as Shion. I couldn't keep lying to myself. I had to just admit it. But simply because I wanted to spend as much time with Satoshi-kun as possible. It was easy to see why I was so attracted to him. I'd found something intriguing in my boring life. Didn't have to feel tense because he thought I was somebody else. Etc, etc. His easygoing nature made him fun to be around, and his habit of petting people on the head was fun too. From these symptoms, I could tell I was embracing the feeling of love. I was just casually enjoying that feeling. It wasn't that I fell in love with him, I was just having fun. I could simply spend some time with Satoshi-kun without having to think too much. Which one is broccoli? The green one? Or the yellow one? Oh, he has the same issue as Satoko.
サトシ君
That's cauliflower Satoshi-kun.
サトシ君って
It could be that there you can't tell lettuce from cabbage either.
それはひどいよ
I'm not that
で
bad.
も精一杯
I'm doing my best here. Satoshi-kun stared at the heaps of broccoli and cauliflower. After thinking for a while, he reached out to the wrong one.
それ違う
That's not it!
サトシ君の
Watching your
買い物
shop
は
is like
見て
being on a
見
roller
て
coaster.
るこっちは楽しいけどさ
It's a lot of fun for me though. Ah, you got me. Satoko can't tell the difference either. Which is broccoli and which is cauliflower.
あんたら兄弟
You guys are too
二人揃
funny.
って面白すぎ
Sis
る
told me that Satoshi was a flaky boy big brother to his nagging little sister. I hadn't met Satoko, but she must be having a rough time dealing with Satoshi-kun. He stumbles over everything he buys after all.
それは調理時
That's cooking salt.
胡椒とか混じってます
It's
から
mixed with pepper.
特上塩とは異なります
Different from regular salt. Oh, is it?
ほら
I think I saw salt and pepper
理
separate
科の
in
実験で
as
塩
science
と胡椒を分
science
離する
explained
のを
once.
言い訳はいいから棚に戻す
Stop making excuse and just put it back on the
こ
shelf.
っちが普通のお塩ね
That's normal salt.
で次は
What are you getting next? You're being a great help,
サ
Mion.
トシ君
You look smart,
頭
but
良
you
さ
have
そう
a
に見えて
serious
高い
issues.
もう少しお勉強した方
I
が
think
い
you
いと
should
思う
study more.
うん
Nah,
それはひ
that's
ど
a
い
little
な
harsh.
あった
There.
これかな
Is this it?
ひょい
In it goes. Ah, that's not it. Don't just throw anything in the basket. Check the price and how many servings it is first. My first impression of Satoshi-kun was that he was strong and reliable. The more I spoke to him, the more I'm surprised at how clumsy and unreliable he was. How do I put it? It was hard to leave him alone. He was dangerous on his own. If he wasn't careful, he might start wondering... He might start wondering, do you cross the street when the light is red? Or was it green? Get himself run over by a dump truck. Sweat drop.
1780
Total is 1,780 yen. You have a member's card? Huh? Oh yes, I do. Where is it?
あーすみません
Ah, sorry.
ちょっと見当たらないんで
We can't seem to
今
find
度
it.
でいいです
So we'll be alright for today. I finished checking out, ignoring Satoshi-kun as he finished through his wallet full of receipts. Fish stew.
ひどいな
That was horrible,
キャ
Mion.
ンプちゃんと
You made me
行かない
waste
と
points.
あんた
Don't go slowly fishing through your wallet to look for your member's card in the middle of an evening shopping rush. There's a huge line behind us. Don't you notice all the even glares for the old ladies? Listen, a time like this, like that, you should get it out before reaching the register.
Ah.
Oh,
そうか
cat problems. Oh well. Oh, alright. Haha, that's good to know. It's not only when you go shopping. The same goes when you ride a bus.
サトシ君バスを降りようとして料金を
Satoshi-kun, I bet you don't open your wallet Satoku for change until you're about to get off and have to pay for holding up everyone behind you. No, everyone walks by me and pays their own fare.
はあそれはね
You know what it means? You're being a super huge bother to everyone.
周りに迷惑そういうのはあらかじめ用意しておくのがマナー
You need to have money out beforehand. That's just good
わかり
manners.
ました
You get it?
わ
Okay.
この世は
You're scared today, Mion. Hahaha. Satoshi-kun smiled as if patronizing me. Ah, I couldn't believe it. He was definitely the type of the type who made women want to protect him. Sure, he was fine as he was when he had been a busybody like me around him. But I couldn't stop worrying about whether he was able to function in society without somebody like that nearby. We got plastic bags and sorted out what we bought. But she couldn't put a pack of tofu in the bottom of the bag. I slapped his hand and put in the milk carton instead.
これで OK
Okay, there we go.
これで台
Now your
所で
mother
買い物
won't freak
袋を
out
広げて
when she opens the
お母さん
shopping
に
bag in the
動転され
kitchen.
なくて済みます
Oh, thanks.
助かった
You
よ
helped me a lot.
僕はどう
I don't think I'm very good at
買い物
shopping.
買い物だけ
Just shopping?
正直におっしゃ
It's
い
definitely not the only thing. Just kidding. I realized a few things while I was spending time with him today. He's not just bad at shopping, he's also chronically clumsy. In general, you could call him a slow thinker. That meant when he stepped into a quarrel with punks, he must have needed a lot of courage. He might be a simpleton, but he's not stupid. He's aware of his weaknesses. So he must have been aware of the danger in that situation. He could have chosen to walk away even though I was in trouble. But he chose to be a man and stepped in. That was really admirable of him. Yep, agreed. Generally speaking, I subscribe to the notion that courage is not doing courageous things, so to say. It's being afraid and doing the courageous thing in spite of it. Like, the more afraid you are and you still go through with it, the more courageous it is, more or less.
偉い偉い
Or maybe that's bravery. Same thing. Good boy. You did a good job. There. What is this? Don't stroke my head.
サトシ君が
I'm rewarding you for
一人
shopping
でお買い物
successfully
なで
today.
なでなで
There. You're making fun of me, aren't you, Mion?
出ない
No, I'm not. Can you go home by
一人
yourself?
道わかる
Do you know how to get there?
うん
Ah,
バリバカに
you are
してる
making fun of me. Satoshi-kun's sulky face flushed red. Ah, he's just too cute. At that point, I caught a glimpse of a billboard, corner of my eyes. Piano lessons call XX. Abacus class. Junior baseball team members wanted. It was a posting for the team Satoshi-kun belonged to. Ah, this is how she becomes a manager. Show the day, time, and place of their next practice. By then, I knew just how flaky he was. I figured he must be just the same when playing baseball. So she couldn't realize I was reading the posting. He looked uncomfortable and walked
今
away.
サトシ君
I know what you're
頼
thinking.
むからミオン
I beg you,
野球
Mion.
やってると
Don't
こま
come
で
to
来
see
な
me
いで
playing
くれよ
baseball.
図星
Am I right? What does the mumbling mean? I know I'm right. Satoshi-kun became quiet. After mumbling something. It seemed like he couldn't say anything back since I had been right on the money. Satoshi-kun, you're too cute. I don't think going silent is a good way to dodge the issue. Well, that might have just been the way innocent people like him would react in a situation like that.
じゃあねサトシ
See you,
君
Satoshi-kun.
暗くなりかけてる
I'm
から
getting dark,
気をつ
so
けて帰って
it's getting
ね
dark, so be careful on your way back.
ミオンは
Are you going home, Mion?
ひなみ沢
Higurashi? I have to make a
私は
stop
もうちょっと寄
somewhere
るとこは
first.
気にしないで
Don't worry about
先に
me.
帰ってください
僕の買い
I'll
物
help you this time.
今度は僕
In
が
return.
大丈夫大丈
I'm
夫っていう
okay.
かサトシ君が何を
So,
手伝い
what
の
are you
つもり
going to help me with anyway?
人の手伝いする
You
前
should
に
learn to support yourself before you try to help me.
もう
Aw,
今日のミオン
you
は
really mean today.
ひときわ意地
You
悪
seem to have some pride at least. He looked a bit upset that he was teased by a girl. In contrast, I felt very satisfied. As a result, I forgot to keep my guard up.
あでも
Oh, thank you for the
手
help.
伝ってくれてありが本当に助かった
That's sweet
か
of
ら
you. Whoa! Wearing a bright smile, Satoshi-kun suddenly started stroking my head again. Ah, I know he's teasing me, but... Oh, I can't reject him. He keeps doing it only because he realizes that I won't resist. Oh.
じゃあね
See you,
暗くならな
Mion.
いう
You
ちに
should
用事を済ませてね
go home before it gets
ま
dark.
た明日
See you in
学校
school tomorrow. Yeah.
また明日
See you in school tomorrow too. In fact, I won't see him tomorrow at all. Felt awkward, but I had to settle for that. I had to thank Sis for letting me use her name. After I separated from him, found myself giddy and wishing to see him again as soon as possible. Wanted to know more about him. Couldn't wait for my next chance to see him. Actually, maybe there was something I could do. Like when I obtained my freedom from St. Lucia's, to choose how to live my life. Whatever, it wasn't that complicated. I just wanted to tease him more. I wanted him to stroke my head more. And... whatever. I already knew the schedule for the baseball team. Higurashi, when they cry, Kai. Oh, this is going to end with such a heartbreak for Shion. Yep, a crumpled diary. We can definitely go for another chapter. Which means 4 chapters today. Damn. Not sure if chapters are shorter or if I'm getting faster. They're shorter. My aunt finally stopped her hysterical screaming. The day was just like any other day. I can't remember what set her off. Whatever it was, she changed subjects constantly anyway, it didn't matter. She went on past midnight again. The urge to sleep was pounding the back of my head. Only Satoko had been able to relax. She fell down on the spot and started sleeping, still clinging to my sleeve. I carried Satoko to the bedroom and laid out the our
ほら
futons.
里子
Hey, Satoko. The
布団
futon
が
is
敷布団
ready.
に入りな
So get in, okay? Satoko clawed in like a worm, stopped moving once she was inside. I wish I could go to bed too, but I couldn't. My aunt asked me to do some chores. I had to get toothpaste after school tomorrow. I had to write it down somewhere. I had to make rice for lunch tomorrow. Set a timer. Right. I also had to repile the towels in the bathroom. That was the reason for today's scolding. My aunt will get mad if everything isn't done the way she wants. Oh, and there was something else. I was working at the grocery store the next day. They wanted me to bring an apron. Did we even have an apron in this house? I'd never seen one. Aunt will be sleeping when I go to school, so won't be able to ask her. What should I do? Since Mion helped me get the job... Mion helped me get that job. I don't want to screw it up. In that case, why don't I ask Mion about it at school? She might lend me one. Was there anything else? Was envious of Satoko because she got to go to bed. It was pathetic that I felt that way. I don't remember Mion saying that, but hey, guess it happened off stream. Hey there! How are you doing in that heat? Oh, Mion-san, you're doing good. Is that our refreshments? Thanks a bunch. You're such a great manager. I just felt like coming here. I didn't bring this for you, by the way. And don't treat me as your manager without my permission, please.
ミオンがマネージャー
We'd be a stronger team if you were our manager,
心
Mion.
強いと思うけどねやってよミオン
Why don't you apply?
マネージャー
Manager, I mean. Toshikun smiled at me in a carefree manner. I didn't want to become the manager. It'd be tiresome. I'd been coming every week, though. So I'm a quasi-manager already. Well, if I feel like it. Anyway, how's Toshikun doing, coach? Is his batting average improving? Yes, he's doing fine. Batting average is well. Buy free packs out of free crackers at Zenmart. Does that mean it's 30%? Wow, you're doing great, Satoshi-kun.
打率は数
It's
字
not
じゃ
just
ない
about the number,
ここ
Mion.
一番で
You have to be able to hit the ball when it
いい
really
のなんだから
counts.
さ
サトシ君は
Good that you're aware of your weakness, Satoshi-kun.
そこまで分か
Just
ってい
continue
るから
working on them for
あ
now.
とは練習あるのみですよ
Irie signaled to the pitcher, who threw the ball. Satoshi-kun looked calm, following the ball with his eyes. Then he swung. Whack! The ball flew between the first and second bases and landed in the distance. Oh, that's great! Good job, Satoshi-kun! I clapped and Satoshi-kun blushed in response. He positioned his helmet to hide his face. Well, he is good in practice and when the game is slow. Irie smiled compassionately. It seemed that Satoshi-kun really couldn't perform well when it counted. While he was usually good, and everybody expected him to perform, he couldn't. I didn't think it was because of nervousness. He just couldn't do it. I think it's a perfect fit for Satoshi-kun's character. He seemed calm at first glance, but actually slow.
スコアボードとか
Numerically speaking,
そういう
you're a
数字
great
上
player,
看板に弱
but
い
you
け
need
ど
to be able to
致命
hit the
的か
ball
も
even when things get
そん
serious.
なことだから
That's why you
この
were
間の
an
北
easy
ジャガ
out
ー
in
の
the
試合
match
でも
with
ここ
Okita
一番
Jaguars
に
on
引
the
退
other
するんで
day.
すよ
Shut up, I know that.
気にしてるんだ。
あそこで打てれば
It'd be
かなり美味し
if
い
he'd
見せ場だっ
been
たんで
able
す
to
けど
hit the ball,
ね
then he would have been a hero.
残念です
What a shame. A hit could have put the offense into lead, or at least give them an extension. That was when Satoshi-kun came up to bat. Irie wanted him to live up to everybody's expectations. But statistically, that wasn't likely to happen. Yet Irie insisted on giving him a chance, in spite of the fact that all the team members had suggested a pinch hitter.
あーもう
Ah,
あそこで打て
it
れ
would
ば
have been
勝てたのに
perfect if you could have hit
な
it.
どうしてダメ
Why
なんです
didn't you
か
do it?
どうしてああいう時
Why
に
can't you
負
hit
け
the
ない
ball
ん
in
で
a
すか
situation when the dream matters?
仕方ない
That was nothing I could do.
僕がああいう
I know I'm weak in situations like
僕
that.
だって
I thought
代打を
a
出
pinch
してくれ
hitter
た方
was a
が
better idea too.
試合に勝つかじゃなくて
It's not about
サト
that.
シ君が勝つかどうかが問題なんです
It's about you, Satoshi-kun.
あーもう
Ah,
なんで当の
you
本
need
人
to
に
be
ここま
more
で普
aggressive.
通は逆でしょ
Shouldn't you have fought the opposite way?
代打に変えられそうなところを
Shouldn't you have
こ
insisted
こは
that
俺に打たせてくださいっ
you'd
て声って
come
かか
up
る
to
とこでしょ
bat no matter what everybody else said?
自分から代
Can't
打を出してほ
believe
しい
you
なんて
wanted
言い
to
出
give
すなん
away
て
the chance
あーも
to some pinch hitter.
うなんでここまで闘争心がない
Why are
の
you
か
so
な
weak like that?
それは私も
That's what I'm
普
always
段
thinking.
まあその辺
I
が
know
サトシ君のい
that's
い
one
と
of his
ころ
good
ではあ
points
る
too,
普
but
段は紳士でも
you can be a
試合に
gentleman
は
at other
鬼にな
times.
る
But when playing games, you should be a demon.
男にはそういう人
I
間
think
性
all
があ
men
る
should
のは
have
私はいい
those
と
two
思い
sides
ま
of
す
them.
とにかくサトシ
You
君に
need to
は
be a
鬼が
demon
ない
out. You need to let your demon out, Satoshi-kun.
仮にもひなみ
Not
沢
think
の
to
人間なんだ
Misawa.
から
So don't forget that you have the
マニアック
demon's
をせ
blood
ず
running through your
鬼を
veins.
知
Are you
ってサ
listening?
トシ君
Satoshi-kun? I am?
よくわかんない
I'm not sure, but
わかんないけど
what aren't you sure about? We talk about you, so... Whoa. Oh. Satoshi-kun suddenly started stroking my head. He looked delighted for some reason. A blush immediately spread across my face. I didn't know how to
ミ
respond.
オンは
You're giving me advice, right? Thanks.
僕は
I'll do my
す
best.
す
Hey, don't you try to fool me.
任してなんか
I'm not.
嬉しいだけ
I'm
だよ
just happy that you care about me. Coach, come on. Come on. You need to give me Shion shit here. Come on. I couldn't resist his hand. I couldn't help mumbling like he does. Toshi-kun ran back to the field, leaving me red as a beet.
頭撫で
Do
られ
you
る
feel good when you have your
何
head
ですか
stroked?
撫でる人により
Depends.
監督が
If
撫で
it
て
were
くれ
you,
たら関節
I'd
決
have
め
to
ますんで
teach you a new martial
覚
arts
悟の
technique.
方よろしくです
Ah, what a shame. Alright, everyone, gather around. Why don't you split the groups and have a practice match? Hinmiza fighters are sort of a lazy team. The members gather simply to enjoy playing baseball, not to fight for victory. The Okonomiya Titans use the field too, but they practice on a different day of the week. They always train hard using dumbbells and stuff. Our team split into two groups and started a match, retaining their loose atmosphere.
じゃあ私
I'll
は
keep
記録
track of the
とかやるから
score.
監督どっ
Coach,
か
do
に
you have a
つな
pencil?
いつもすみません
Thanks for helping me out.
はいこれ
Here,
お願いします
I took the pencil and the clipboard. I don't know how to differentiate between recording hits and errors at first, but now I'm used to it. Show me what you got, Satoshi-kun. You're being very obvious, Shion. Or maybe it'll be too much pressure if I cheer for you too excessively.
ほどほどに頑張れ
Just do okay then. That doesn't sound very encouraging either. Hahaha, do your best. Time passed slowly that Sunday. Huge white clouds appear in the sky, giving me feel healthy. Humans are born to be active under the sun. One of those parents was acting as umpire today, so Irie sat on the bench with me. He shouted words of encouragement at the kids while they ran to their positions. Any other baseball coach would constantly berate them, but he was much more generous, like a kindergarten teacher. He let the kids have fun while watching over them. To other baseball teams, it might look like a little naive.
それでも
I'm surprised you guys can do well with only a small amount of
驚きですよ
practice.
ね
Kids in Himizawa romp around every day, so the amount of exercise they get surpasses that of city kids. Besides, too much training is not always excessive. Oh, you think completely different from Okonomiya Titans. I can understand why their coach hates you.
タイタンズ
It's
さん
not
の
about
考え
being
も
right.
試合は勝
Matches
つために
exist for
するも
someone
の
to
です
win
から
after all.
勝利至
So
上主義
prioritizing
は
victory is
決して間
certainly
違い
isn't
じゃな
wrong.
いですみんなで
I
団
think
結
it's
して
admirable to aim for
共通
victory
の
together.
まあうちは
But the goal of our
その
team
目
doesn't
標
happen
が
to be victory.
たまたま
That's all.
勝利じゃないってだけ
Himizawa Fighters and Okonomiya Titans have been rivals for a long time. Both teams share the baseball field, for one thing. And originally, there was only one team, but the people living in Himizawa left and made their own. Anyhow, we were rivals. The Okonomiya Titans were strictly about winning. Himizawa Fighters were just about having fun. Surprisingly, our scores weren't that different, which meant our team had something they didn't. Even though I couldn't put it into words, I knew that what made that happen. Hey, Team 1, no slacking. You can make up the 2-point difference pretty easily. Team 2, no slacking either. Still, some parents would criticize our coach for being too lenient. But still, others would strongly agree with him. Which side should I side with? The latter? I couldn't really say for sure. The reason for this was that Irie had an obnoxious habit of sexual harassment. In particular, he had a fascination with maids, but I should talk more about that some other time. Satoshi-kun let the ball pass twice to see if its trajectory, then hit it on the third pitch and ran to the first base. Oh, he did it! He's so good when he's relaxed.
最初は
In the beginning, he used to get tired very easily. He's improved quite a lot since then. He really does look like some kind of bookworm. I wonder why he started playing baseball in the first place. All the other kids who joined... Whoops. All the other kids who joined the baseball team loved baseball. Would go... They'd go out to play in the field outside of practice. That's why they all had aptitude for it. But Sis never said that Satoshi-kun exercises extensively in school or anywhere else. He only likes to read. That's why I didn't understand why he started playing for this team to begin with. That's because I invited him. Is that so? Recruited him? Did you notice some sort of hidden talent? Excuse me, can I have a cup of barley tea? Thank you. He asked for tea in a suspicious manner. While he constantly joked around, I knew he was actually a very mature person. I assumed he was trying to evade my question. Is there a particular reason? Irie pretended he didn't hear me, but I pressed him on it. In response, he shrugged and began answering the question.
園崎さんなら
I think you might be
あ
able
る
to
いは
guess.
想像がつくんじゃないか
What would me and Sonozaki's guess? Quickly searched through the data I had on Satoshi-kun. Came up with Satoshi's family's circumstances. Lost his parents in an accident a year ago. Since then, he'd been having a tough time at his uncle's home. So you invited him so he could vent?
スポーツは
Sports are great.
程よく
You can
体を
feel
動かして
free
汗を
yourself
かくこと
through
はま
exercise.
た熱中する
Though
ことによって
that as long as he
家
concentrated
庭の
on
ことを
something
忘
else,
れられるな
he
ら
could forget about his
それは
troubles at home. You know, he's usually sort of a daydreamer, zoning out all the time. If he's still stressed, I knew Satoshi-kun must be suffering even though he didn't look like it. But Mio Sozaki never pays attention to things like that, and I had to act like she does.
おじさんに引き取られ
Satoshi-kun
て
got really
少し
sick
し
after
て
his
から
uncle took him into
サ
his
トシいろん
custody.
な症状を
He
訴えるん
had
ですが
many clinical
いくら調べ
symptoms,
ても
but the causes were
原因がは
unknown.
っきりしないんですよ
Satoshi-kun often got sick. After he was taken into his uncle's custody, he suffered from fatigue and migraines. He suffered from a lack of energy and sleeplessness. The coach, Dr. Irie, soon realized Satoshi-kun was suffering from a psychological disorder. Most of the people in Hirisawa knew how bad Satoshi-kun's environment was. It was natural for him to become sick because he entered that bad environment right after his parents' deaths.
サトシ君は
Satoshi-kun cannot
感
express
情
himself
の
freely.
泣いたりとか
Whether it's crying or
怒った
simply
り
being agitated, he's
そういう
not good
感
at
情は
handling those
人一
emotions.
確かに
That's true. I'd imagine
サトシ君
him
が泣いた
being
りと
angry or
か怒ったり
crying.
サトシ君のお母さんが
Did
再
you
婚を
know
重ねて
Satoshi-kun's
るの
mother
はご
had
存知
been married a few times already?
ま
Yeah,
あ少しは
I know a little bit about that. Satoshi-kun's mother had married a number of men over the years. That meant Satoshi-kun had several stepfathers. Had to deal with strangers coming into his house multiple times. He was forced to be mature.
サトシ君は
Satoshi-kun is mentally underdeveloped.
本人は
He isn't aware of it himself, though. He didn't have enough time to cry, laugh, or throw tantrums in his childhood.
そういう時代
He
を
was forced to become a
あっという
grown-up
間
in
に
just a
卒業
short
させ
time.
監督の言い方だと
That doesn't sound
大
right.
人ってのが
子供は子供ら
Children
しく
have
過
to
ごす
behave
こ
like
とで
children in order to
それ
grow.
を無理に
There's
大人
nothing
にしたら
positive about being
やっ
forced
ぱ
to
り
become
い
an
いことは
adult.
ないですよ
Not only was Satoko's current relationship with her aunt conspicuously terrible, I heard that her relationship with her previous stepfather weren't good either. Satoko always caused problems, and Satoshi would always step in to protect her.
だから
I
サトシ
thought
君
his
の
physical
体に
symptoms
変調が
came
出た
from
の
the
は
stress. His body
そ
was
ういう
trying
こと
to
に
warn him.
体が耐えかね
That's
た
why
SOS
Iri
じゃない
invited
かって
Satoshi
思
to
った
the
んです
baseball team. He told Satoshi that he needed a new member, or something like that.
初めは渋ってまし
Hesitated
た
at
彼
first,
と診
but
療
after
の
I
際
talked to
に
him at the
いろ
clinic
いろ
a
と
few
お
times,
話し
he
する
began
うち
to
に
open up to me.
ちょっと見
First, I
学だけ
invited
にで
him to
も
come see
で
the
もちょっ
practice.
とバットを持ってみ
Then I
るとき
suggested
に
he try
なん
batting.
て感じ
I
で
eased him into it.
少しずつ誘っていったんですよ
Sports worked excellently for Satoshi-kun. His health quickly improved and he started to become interested in baseball. He practiced batting, he was soon able to swing beautifully, and he learned how to see the trajectory of the ball.
あ
I can imagine that.
サトシ君って
He likes to read. So he must have read a book titled How to Play Baseball, something like that.
それであ
He
れ
became
よ
a
あれよ
good
と
batter
いう
very
間に
quickly.
本当によく
He's
頑
put
張りました
forth a lot of
こ
effort.
れでピンチの時
I
にも
wish he could
打てるな
actually hit when it
完璧
came
なんですけど
down to the
ね
wire too.
サトシ君と監督
Are you
って
guys close?
仲いい
悪くは
I
ない
think
と
so.
悩みと
He
か
talked to me a lot about
そう
his
いうのを打
problems,
ち
so
明
I
けてく
guess
れたという
that's
こ
a
と
sign
は
of trust.
私を
Felt a
信
bit
頼
of
して
jealous
く
of
れた
how
からだと
confidently Irie said that. But Satoshi-kun and I were friends who weren't so close that he'd open up to each other like that.
あれ
Oh,
嫉妬した
are
ん
you
ですか
jealous? Eh? About what?
何に
In the back, I blushed. Irie started laughing at me.
園崎さんも
Please stay as his good friend. Well, yeah, I'm trying. I think that might have been a warning, actually. Like, don't take a step further currently. But oh well. I don't know what I was saying.
サトシ
You
君
know,
は
regarding
ですね
Satoshi-kun,
最近
he seems a little
また
sick again
少し
lately. What? Quack. The ball flew to the left. But the left fielder managed to catch it. It seemed that the relationship between Satoko and his aunt had gotten worse lately. It was obvious his sickness had something to do with
お
that.
ばさんが
The aunt is
か
bullying
なり大
Satoko-chan
人
in a
げない
terrible
さ
way.
とこちゃん
She became
本
worn
当に
out
かわ
after
いそう
that.
何しろ
And
で
so,
それをかばう
Satoshi-kun is
サトシ君
also
も
worn out from
ボロ
calling
ボ
for
ロになって
Satoko,
い
isn't
る
he?
という
Wasn't
ことです
interested in Satoko, so switch the subject back to Satoshi-kun. I didn't know much about Satoko. I knew she was a big part of Satoshi-kun's life, but I'd never been interested in her until today. She must have been building up self-esteem in taking care of her unreliable brother. That was all I knew about her. But considering Satoshi-kun's personality, even that goofiness of his might have been an act. Maybe he was trying to make her feel good about herself by letting her take care of him. If only unconsciously. When he's alone, he's surprisingly strong. I realized that only recently. I couldn't help but think that his whole life is constantly affected by Satoko. Satoshi-kun managed to get along with his stepfathers even though he experienced some stress. He was getting along with his aunt, but in order to protect Satoko, he always had to step in and suffer. I really don't know anything about Satoko, but I had to admit I felt hostile toward her. Felt jealous because she was monopolizing him.
最近
Seems that their aunt has been tyrannizing Satoko-chan even more lately. That must be what causing Satoshi-kun's sickness. Irie sighed. Irie heaved a sigh. Or said heavied. As he said that, Satoshi-kun had been absent a few times already. He seemed a bit tired too. He looked normal when around everybody else. He looked a bit depressed when he was alone.
監督は
So you invited him to
ストレス
join the
に
team
押し
to
つぶさ
relieve
れ
his
そうな
stress,
サトシ
didn't you?
ええ
Yes,
そのつもり
that's
でした
right.
こうして野球をやって
You
いる
look stressed again now.
またストレスに押しつぶされそうになっている
How can we save him this time?
サトシ君に
どうすれば
I
いい
don't
ん
know.
でしょうね
Irie smiled powerlessly. Couldn't help but feel a bit disappointed about that Satoshi couldn't put his trust in him.
内緒に
Just between you and me,
実はです
Satoshi-kun
ね
recently told me
チームを
that
抜
he
けたい
wanted to
っ
leave the
て
team. Eh? How
ど
come?
うして？
疲れる
He
から
claimed he was tired of
出
it.
すというのは
That's what
表
he
に
said.
さとこちゃん
But I
と
believe
一緒
he
にいる
actually
時間
wants to
を
spend more time with
増やして
Satoko-chan.
サトシ君は
He thinks that
野球をしている
Satoko-chan
間
might end up being
さとこ
tortured
ちゃ
while
んが
he's
おばさん
at
にいじめその
practice.
時
I think he's
さと
concerned
こちゃ
about
んのそ
that.
ばにいられないこと
I was left speechless for a while. Satoko again. Satoko. Why did Satoshi-kun have to sacrifice so much for her? Just by ignoring her, his stress would melt away. Of course, I knew he couldn't do that. If that were the case, then the blame lay with his little sister. I knew how badly she'd been treated, but that only happened because she made things worse for herself. It was her fault that she couldn't establish a decent relationship with her aunt. If Satoko were more mature like Satoshi, her life wouldn't have gotten so bad. Satoshi-kun wouldn't have to suffer those indirect blows. In the meantime, baseball team practice match had become one-sided. It wasn't even worth watching anymore. The members of the losing team were just goofing off. The sky had turned cloudy too. It was depressing. It didn't look like it's going to rain soon, though. The grey sky hadn't brought along any cool air. It just felt disgusting. Irie became quiet. He was looking around his feet. I, meanwhile, just stared at Satoshi-kun. To me, he didn't look active anymore. He was once able to enjoy baseball, and he felt fine. But he got sick again, just because the relationship between Satoko and her aunt had deteriorated. I couldn't help but say
サ
it.
トシ君をどう
Shouldn't
こ
we
う
do
するって
something
いう
about Satoko instead?
サトコをどうこ
It
う
was
する
just a
方が
murmur,
先
but
決だよ
Irie had definitely caught it.
それは
What do you mean,
どういう
Sonosaki-san?
別に
Not that
サ
complicated.
トコがしっか
Satoko
り
was
してくれれ
stronger,
ば
Satoshi-kun
サ
wouldn't
ト
have
シ
to
君
deal
に
with
サ
stress.
トコがそも
I
そ
think
もが
Satoko
原
is the
因
cause
で
of
あるってこ
everything.
とが言いたいだけ
うん そん
I
な
don't
こ
know
と
about
で
that.
しょ
Yes, you
だ
do.
って
If she
サ
didn't
トコが
cause
トラブ
trouble,
ルから
he
サト
wouldn't
シ
have
君
to
はそ
step
のト
in,
ラブ
would
ル
he?
でその結果
He
本
wouldn't
当は
have
買
to
わなく
take
て済
over
ん
the
だ
fight
おばの
between
喧嘩ま
Sadako
で
and
買
her
ってるわけ
aunt,
でし
right?
ょ
Soshikun never got scared of any trouble. No matter how formidable the enemy, he bravely stand up and protected the weak. I knew that because I could vividly imagine it. Whenever the aunt chid Sadako, Soshikun steps to protect her. The aunt probably didn't like it. Though Satoshi-kun didn't have to fight, the aunt would attack him anyway. The fight would be then turn to the aunt and him. Sadako might then tease the aunt by sticking out her tongue, hiding behind his back and pretending to be scared. She'd never think about how deeply he was being hurt. Nope. Because of Satoko, Satoshi-kun had become cornered and stressed.
その
I'm
ざさ
surprised to hear that from you,
あなた
Sonozaki-san.
は
But you were
さとこちゃん
Satoko-chan's
の
friend,
お
a
友達お
classmate,
姉さん的な
big
立
sister
場
kind of
で
figure.
普段も学
But
校
you'd
で
always be on her
な
side.
のに
But what you said
正
is
直
surprising to me.
驚いています
He looked at me suspiciously. Could tell what he was thinking about me. I'd said too much. Mion Sasaki and Satoko Hojo were friends. They were close, so Mion would have been encouraging her after the situation at home got tough. That's what Mion's supposed to do. Had totally forgotten about that and spoken as myself. It's only natural that Irie would give me a suspicious look. He might end up changing his impression of Mion Sasaki entirely. I have to apologize to her about this and ask her to put things straight. Right. Totally messed up. Even so, I don't think I'd said anything wrong. I'd objectively looked at the situation and made a modest proposal. Objective. To be honest, I was simply afraid that he might leave the team. I couldn't go to the school in Hinamizawa. So the baseball field was the only place where I could see him. I could even say that he was my reason for living. That's right, I was in love with him. But I wasn't going to tell him how I felt, for I was satisfied just by being by his side. I certainly couldn't ask for anything more. After all, I couldn't reveal my true identity. I had to pretend to be Mion in order to live in Okonomiya. I thought that maybe I should leave Okonomiya in order to be free. But that's stupid. No matter how tough my life might be, I prefer to be here. Satoshi-kun stroking my head every now and then. Why did I love him that much? I read about it in some manga once. You don't need a reason to be in love. Surprised at myself for being like
落ち
this.
着け
Calm down, Shion. Breathed out slowly, then held my breath, trying to slow my throbbing heart. I felt a bit calmer. At that point, a clear thought came into my head. I wanted to be with Satoshi-kun. So, I want him to stay on the team. So, I want to get rid of the concerns and his stress. So what can I do to achieve all that? My head started to cool down as I heard the umpire shout. Game set! And match! It's going to go horrible, isn't it? Higurashi, when they cry, cry. Some days I see him, some days I don't. A clear sky gets cloudy and rain will always stop everything eventually. I thought his absence was just like that, but he was actually on the verge of breakdown. Notebook page 19. Rainy season was just around the corner. The air became so humid that my shirt stuck to my skin. It had been a few weeks since Satoshi-kun stopped showing up to baseball practice. I looked for him as soon as I arrived at the field. He's not here yet. Did I get here too early? I want to see him playing in the field right when I get here. I'd started arriving late because of those feelings. However, he wasn't here today either. I didn't even bother hiding my disappointment anymore. Everybody knew by now how I felt. Team members from Mion's class came out to try and console me. I can only imagine how Mion is feeling about all of this. She must know by now. But I should run away. So, what's going on, Sonzaki-san? Are you feeling sick? Even Irie couldn't comfort me. I was aware that he too knew I was like that. I'm going home. I don't feel like watching the practice today. Look, you have a meeting with Okonomiya Titans later. I want you to be there because you're a manager. Don't treat me like your manager. I never agreed to be one. Ira looked down, not knowing what to say. Alright, please help us again when you feel like it. Maybe I won't be coming back. If you need a manager, look for somebody else. Please do come again, whenever you feel like it. Satoshi-kun will be sad if you're not here when he comes back. I ignored him and turned around. I'd already set up my schedule with Mion. Didn't have to ask her every time anymore. Tried to contact her a couple of times to ask how Satoshi-kun was doing in school, but hadn't been able to get through to her. Apparently the hack had sensed that I might be in contact with Sis. In other words, Sis was being watched. As a result, it hasn't been easy to contact her. Kasai, who had been helping me contact her, seemed to have also been marked. People knew he was loyal to me. I hadn't seen him for a while either. All I could do is wonder how Satoshi-kun was doing. I was frustrated because there was no way for me to know. My head was filled with worries, but something surprised me out of blue. Somebody called out to me when I was about to leave the field on my bike. Uh-oh. I mean, yay, Rena! But you're not passing by the mega detective. Mi-chan, hello. I've never seen this girl before. Luckily, she called me Mi-chan. Therefore, only one person. There's only one person who refers to Mion that way, as far as I know. Rena, I'm surprised to see you here. Her name is Rena Ryugu. Reina Ryugu. Her real name is Reina, but she wants to be called Rena. That's what we call her. She moved here in April. I had some information on her, but it was still ambiguous. This was still a bit uncertain about her, since she's so new. It was hard for me to handle someone like that. I didn't know how to act around her as Mion, so I decided to pretend to be in an obviously sulky mood. That way, she shouldn't talk to me as much, assuming that Mion was simply feeling bad. Well, That's how I really am anyway.
みーちゃんは
Are you
帰
going
り
home, Michan?
うん
Yeah.
気分が優
I
れ
guess I'm
ない
not feeling
悪
well.
いね
Sorry.
じゃあ一緒に帰
Let's
ろ
go together then. I wanted to say that I'd rather be alone, but there is only one road to Hinamizawa. So asking to be alone would look odd. The only way to not seem suspicious would be to walk home with
そ
her.
うだね帰
Yeah,
るか
let's go. Rena quietly nodded. Can unlock my bike.
みーちゃん
Mi-chan, do you have an umbrella?
持ってないけど
Nope.
今日はこの
Might
後
rain
傘
soon.
ないなら
Well, let's hurry
遊
a
ぼう
bit, since you don't have one. As she predicted, we were attacked by pouring rain on our way. We ended up taking shelter in a small shack at the bus stop.
すごい降り
It's
だけど
pouring. It doesn't
こ
look
れ
like
は
it's
そん
going
な
to
に
last
長引
long.
きそうじゃない
The
ね
sky over there is
向こうの
clear.
そうだね
Yeah. I heard the sound of rain pattering on the rooftop and the raindrops jumping into puddles. It sounded loud, but it made me feel strangely calm. I zoned out for a moment when Renard talked to me while looking up at the rainy sky.
最近
I was worried
元
about
気
you.
心配してたんだよ
He looked so down. All the baseball team members knew I was depressed because I hadn't seen Satoshi-kun recently. Most of them attended the school in Himizawa, so it wasn't surprising that she knew as well. I hadn't been able to contact Sis these past few weeks, but I was sure that she had an idea of how I feel about Satoshi-kun, and how I would feel if he didn't come to the baseball practice. Yeah, she definitely knows. She was probably pretending to act a little depressed during her day today in Himizawa to avoid creating a big gap between our moods. Neither of us knew the details about the other right now. So she wouldn't be able to answer if others asked her what was going on wrong. She'd only be able to say, "Leave me alone." That might lead more people to become worried. Rena must have thought Mion was depressed. It must be this. It must be why she came all the way to see me. She must have known that what was going on because she knew that I was at the baseball field.
サトシ君
Do you feel lonely because Satoshi-kun is avoiding us? Having deduced what's been going on in Satoshi-kun from what she just said, he'd been distancing himself from the others lately because of exhaustion. That's what it sounded like, at least.
サトコちゃん
He
の
looked
件
like
で
he was very worried about Satoko-chan.
サトシ君
I
は
think he's really on edge.
かわいそうだ
Feel
よ
bad for him.
サトシ君
He
は
really cares about his sister.
偉いよ
That's a lot of
本当に
courage. What I'd said sounds somehow hollow, as I knew too well how much of a burden Sadako had
で
become.
もだからっ
But I
てみーちゃんま
think
で落ち込ん
he'd
じゃったら
feel even worse if he also
かえっ
looked
てサ
depressed.
トシ君を
I
追い
think.
私に追い詰める
I
つ
don't
も
want
り
that.
それはも
I
ちろん
know.
でも
But
だ
if you
から
really
こそ
don't,
学校にいる
then
時
you
の
need to
サ
smile
トシ
for
君
him.
を
Otherwise, he
笑顔で
might
迎えて
really
あげら
feel
れな
cornered.
みーちゃんは
I know you're
だ
strong.
から
You can smile even if it's
嘘
just
でも
pretend.
最初は
I want you
た
to
とえ
smile
嘘
no
でも
matter what.
笑顔って
You know what lies
最
can
後に
become
は
true
本物に
sometimes.
なるんだよ
What she was saying was, in a nutshell, was this. Both Satoshi-kun and Satoko were totally wiped out. If Mia was also depressed, even though she's the sort of person who usually lightens the mood, the situation would be stuck in a vicious cycle. Rena sounded more like she was trying to give me advice than trying to console me. She was more mature than she looks. Sis told me that she was a funny girl, with a few bad habits. But she seemed to have another, very mature side to her.
みーちゃんは
Do you love Satoshi-kun?
好き
Yeah. Though I shouldn't have told her that. I immediately
な
responded.
ら
In that case,
Hello?
why don't you smile? Rena smiled
み
herself.
ーちゃんの笑
Believe
顔で
Satoshi-kun will
きっと
feel
サトシ君
better
に
if
元気を
he
分け
sees
て
you
あ
smile.
げみーちゃんは
Now you feel
それ
powerless now,
それで
but
もね
your smile will give him strength.
理屈ではわかるけど
I know what you're saying, but
腹減ったって
not that easy.
そう簡単にはでき
Rena
ない
giggled and
野
nodded.
球の練習に
He'll
も
come
さ
back after he's done with
バイ
his
トが終わ
part-time
ったら
job.
きっと帰
His
ってく
part-time
るから
job? Was asked the question, but I managed to stop myself. From the tone of Rena's voice, it sounded like it was something everybody knew.
バイト
His part-time
い
job,
つ
huh?
終わるんだろう
Wonder when
ね
it'll
お
end.
金が貯ま
He
る
has
わけだ
enough money, I
ど
guess.
んなに遅くても
But he'll finish by Snako-chan's birthday at the latest. I tried to figure out what was going on from what she said. I had to listen very carefully to uncover the whole picture. Toshikun seemed to be working in order to make some money. I don't think it's easy to find a job when you're still in school. Sis might have had something to do with it. His job only seemed temporary, and he seemed to have something to do with Satoko's birthday. It wasn't that difficult to find out. Satoshi was working and saving up to buy his little sister something expensive for her birthday. He was trying to comfort her, even though he was so torn up himself. Sadako again. Satoshi was already worn out because of her. He was now working for her sake, even though he was exhausted. How stupid. It would be easier for him to just forget about Satoko. Not happening. Rena's like, I can see through you. I was startled when I realized Rena was looking straight into my eyes. She was smiling, but her eyes looked creepy. I never voiced what I was thinking, but she was looking at me as though she figured out what I was blaming Satoko. She beamed when she noticed my fear. She smiled as though she understood that I thought that way because of love. Just giving me the creeps. I could hear thunder roaring in the distance. The rain began to pick up. Do you feel jealous of Sadako-chan because she monopolizes Satoshi-kun? I avoided answering immediately this time. Oh, Detective Rena, go! Rena seemed to know what I was thinking already. I wouldn't be upset even if you did. That's how it is when you're in love.
ありがとう
Thanks. You've been encouraging Sadako-chan despite that. That's admirable.
さとこは
Of
仲
course I
間
have
当
to.
然でし
He's
ょ
my friend. I sounded so fake. I felt like spitting on the floor.
私たちには
All we can do is encourage Satoko-chan and Satoshi-kun. I don't know how to save them from this
さとこが
situation.
サトシ君にべっ
Because
たり
relying on
しすぎなんだよ
Satoshi-kun very too
さとこ
much.
がもっとし
She
っか
was
りすれ
stronger.
ば
You wouldn't have to suffer in her place.
はっきり言う
You
ね
sound really straightforward. Rena nodded with an unflinching smile, even though my remarks could be seen as harsh. What was this mysterious girl thinking? It was difficult to get a read on her.
サトシ君
Maybe
もさ
Satoshi-kun feels that way a little too. Eh? Rena kept smiling, but her smile looked strangely cold.
サトシ君
I
は
think he's tired of protecting Satoko, and he's aware of
心の
that.
どこかで
Given the type of person
サトコ
Rena
ちゃんを
is,
かばい続けることに
I don't
疲れ
think
を
she'd
感
say
じて
something
る
she
と思う
wasn't certain of. Because of that, she must have been confident in what she just told me.
どうして
Why do you think that?
私
He said so. Eh? But he couldn't secretly confess to Rena? Rena asked me to keep it that way.
サトシ君
Satoshi君 told me
がね兄として頼られ
That
る
he
ことに
felt tired of protecting
普通それ
Satoko-chan.
はと
He
ても
was
罪
feeling
深
guilty
い
though.
ことだと知ってい
I
るけど
don't think he would say something like that. But however, it wasn't likely that Rena was lying. I just met her. I don't know what made me feel that way. But my hunch told me that she was telling the truth. I heaved a sigh. Toshikun must have gotten so tired that he couldn't help telling someone. Even so, even if he thought that way, he wouldn't tell somebody so easily. Maybe Rena led him to do so. She might be capable of something like that. Don't understand. This girl. If it had only been a little while since we met, but I'd already started talking about something I was keeping deep inside of me. Does she have some kind of supernatural power to reach into people's minds and drag out what they're thinking? It suddenly hit me that I was sitting with a creepy girl in a tiny shack. I've been dragged into her strange world. I don't think Sis has realized Rena's real personality. She thinks Rena is just a funny girl with some strange habits. She would have told me if she knew.
レナは
I guess
サトシ君
Satoshi-kun
に打
must
ち明けられ
trust
る
you a
くらい
lot
に
if he confessed
信
that to
頼
you.
されてるんだね
Rena looks unhinged. Haha, kind of a little jealous.
別に
It's not because he
信
trusts
頼
me.
私が
I think it's because
経
I've
験者だ
experienced
か
the
ら
same
だと思
thing.
う
経験
You what?
レナにも
You also have covered your
兄弟を
sibling
か
once?
来た人と
Those
ずっ
footsteps,
と足
always
音が
following me.
夜は
Even
枕元
came
に
to
も
my
たれ
bedside
て
and looked down at me.
見下ろされる
Huh?
経験
Serena, what are you talking about? Turned around to face her, and I got the chills. Though she was smiling, her eyes looked ice cold. I trembled and froze, with eyes open.
兄ちゃんには
Have
な
you
い
experienced anything like that? Haha, I guess not. Probably. Hahaha. Rena kept laughing self-derisively. I tried to figure out what she was
兄ちゃ
saying,
んは
Have you ever thought of
南
leaving
沢かもっ
Himisawa?
と都会に
Moving
行
to a
きたい
big
そうい
city?
うことを考
Have you
え
ever
たこ
thought
と
of doing
は
something like
あ
that?
る
I didn't know how to respond. Rena waited for my answer, urging me to speak with her silence. Oh, no?
ない。私は地元。
I love it here.
だよね
Yeah, that's right, isn't
兄
it?
ちゃんはそう
I
だ
knew that. I didn't seem like a good idea to lie to her. Rena had the kind of power I can't grasp. She can read people's minds just by seeing the slightest change in their expression. So I had to tell her the
そう
truth.
ならば
You'll be okay
兄ちゃ
if
ん
that's true.
お社様には
Oshio-sama
怒られ
won't
ない
get mad at
お
you.
社様。
Oshio-sama? Oyoshio-sama. That's Minazawa's guardian deity. I couldn't understand why she mentioned that name. My man stopped for a moment. That's right.
お社様
Oyoshio-sama. She calmly repeated the name as if trying to teach me something. Yeah, I remember. Oshio-sama never allows heathens to desecrate Hinamizawa. Oshio-sama never allows the villagers to leave either. Those are the rules. Slowly, I recalled the fear of the curse which supposedly caused dismemberment, murder, and the death of the Hojo couple. When I was sent to an institution, I had this fear. I was scared that if I went to the faraway boarding school, I'd fall under the curse. But I should be okay. I escaped from the school and returned to my hometown, to Okonomiya, to be precise. We should be okay according to the kids' rules. Because I love Hinamizawa. The hack forced me to live in the suffocating life, but I still chose to stay in this place. I don't believe in breaking Oroshio-sama's curse rules. Even though the Sonozaki family selfishly banished me to a remote place, I came back here anyway. Oroshio-sama even bless me for that. I guess I'm trying to convince myself that the curse doesn't apply to me, but I think I'm still afraid of it.
私は地元。
I love this place.
その意味では
I don't think
お社
I
様
fall
の
for
たたりが
Oroshio-sama's
模範
curse.
的だとすら思
But
って
you
る
can call me a model villager. Yes,
それは
think
私
so
も
too.
だからこそ
But I'm not sure about
サトシ君
Satoshi-kun.
どうして
Why?
サトシ君
Satoshi-kun wants to leave Hinamizawa
心
and run
なき
away,
南沢を捨てて
even if only
どこかへ
unconsciously.
逃げ出したいと思ってるから
Eh? I gave an inaudible cry. While I was feeling sad for Satoshi-kun hadn't shown up to practice, he still lived in Himizawa. I never considered that thought of him going away.
サトシ君
You're
は
saying he wants to skip town? Yeah,
無意識のうち
he's not aware of it himself
お
though.
社様が
Probably
枕
didn't
元に
notice
立
it
つまで
until Oshio-sama stood by his
多分
bed.
意識すらして
I
なかっ
still
た
had no idea what she was talking about. I continued trying to figure out what she was trying to say.
サトシ君が体験
Everything
して
he's
いるこ
going
と
through
は
is a sign of
全て
Oroshio-sama's
誰
curse.
かが遠くからじっ
You
と
feel like something is watching you from a
誰かが
distance
ずっ
and
と
follows
つけて
you.
くる
Then it watches from right behind you.
やがて足
After
元
that, you start
常に
hearing
自
extra
分とずっと
footsteps,
それらは
only
初
outside
めの
at
うちは
first.
やがて後ろのそれは
But you start
自分の
hearing it
家の中にまで
even
ついて
inside
くる
your house after a while.
そして
Then
お布団に入って
Oshio-sama
明
starts
かりを消
watching
して
you
も
even while you're
ずっ
sleeping
と
in the
枕
dark,
ただただ黙
right by
る
your side, waiting silently
自らの罪
for
を
you to
認め
admit
れ
your
ば
sin.
サトシ君は
Satoshi-kun told me
夢
he
見が悪
was
いって
having
最
nightmares
初
at
に
first,
それで
for asking
私
what
が
kind of
どんな
dreams he
夢
was
見たか
having.
聞いたら
And those dreams he was having,
私の時を
it
な
turned
ぞ
out,
ったから
were
私
just like mine.
その気配
I
が
warned him that the
やがて
presence
近づ
would
き
become bigger.
足音を
He'd
聞
hear
かせるようになり
an extra
常に
footstep
サトシ君
and
を
feel the
見下ろ
presence
してい
watching
るよ
him
う
in
に
his sleep.
それはきっと
Told him to come to
私
me
の
if
時
that
と
ever
同じ
happened.
サトシ君は初め
He must have been
私のことを
suspicious at
見る
first, but just as I
私
predicted,
お
he
社様
started
が
to feel Oshio-sama's
枕元
presence
にま
more
で
strongly.
やっと自分の
He
身に起こって
finally
いる
realized
こ
he
と
could
を
talk
相
to
談
me
でき
about
る
it.
のは私しか
Rather
い
than
ない
look like she was joking.
気づいた
She just calmly told me what had been going on. I couldn't even move. I couldn't even tell if her words were a joke or the truth. I could only feel stunned.
私はね
If I'm from Hinoizawa
元々
originally,
小学校
I
に
moved to Ibaraki Prefecture right before I went to elementary school.
でも新しい環境に馴染めなくてね
However, when I couldn't adjust to my new environment,
心の中に
Oshio-sama frequently started telling me to return to Hinoizawa in my head.
でも小学生の子が泣きながら元の町に帰りたい
Oshio-sama's frequent,
どうにも
but
な
I
らない
couldn't do anything since I was just a little kid.
私は
I was forced to
現
live
実
there,
と
though I
親代
felt
様
threatened
の
by
声に板
Oshio-sama's
挟み
voice.
そして
Then, when I passed, it looked like she didn't want to go into details of what followed. In general, she confused me even more.
結局
Anyway,
いろいろ
I was
あっ
able
て
to come back here in the
だ
end.
から
Oshio-sama forgave me. I haven't felt the presence anymore since then.
でもね、サトシ君は
Satoshi-kun is being
私と
subjected to the
違って
curse
ひ
even
なみ
though
沢にい
he's
な
in
がら、
Hinamizawa.
それはなぜか。
Why?
理由は一
There
つ。
can only be one reason.
サトシ君は
Because he wished to
ひなみ沢
abandon
その心
Hinamizawa.
を
Oshio-sama won't allow
許さ
that.
なかったんだね。サトシ君は
After a series of inner
自問
monologues,
自答を
he
何度
confessed.
ほら
You know,
サトシ君
he's working
アルバイト
part-time, don't
貞
you?
子ちゃんが欲し
The
が
repair
っ
he's
た
getting to
あ
Sadako-chan
の大
costs
きなぬい
about
ぐるみは
10,000 yen.
サトシ君は
He's trying to get the
貞子ちゃん
money
の
for
誕生
by
日
her
分のほ
birthday.
ら
Have you noticed it yet?
それだけのお金があ
Think
る
about it like this.
後先
He
を
had
考え
that
な
amount
く
of
てい
money.
いなら
It'd be enough for him to run away
どこか
somewhere
遠く
far
に
away
逃
from
げ
here.
たサトシ君
When
は
consciously started to
無
think
意
about
識に
that,
サトコちゃん
about
を捨て
leaving
て
Sadako-chan behind.
それは
But he'd
サ
feel
トシ
very
君にとって
guilty.
も
As you pointed
さっき
out,
みーちゃんが
Sadako-chan
指
is
摘
a
したよ
burden
う
on
にサ
him.
トシ君だってバ
He's,
カじゃない
he's
の
not stupid, so he's aware of that.
兄として認めたくな
Just
かった
doesn't want to
だけ
admit
で
it.
サト
Because
コちゃん
he's
が
the
負担に
one
なって
who's
いること
supposed to
には
protect his little
だ
sister.
からサトシ君は
He's been
葛
struggling
藤してるん
with,
だよ
with himself.
自分は妹を
He
喜ば
thinks
せ
he's
るため
working
のお
to
金を貯め
please
るために
Satoko-chan on her
バイトをし
birthday.
たけれども
But he
それ
also
は
feels
自分
like
の
he
心を
might be
騙し
deceiving
ているだ
himself
けで
because he
本当は
unconsciously wants to
自
skip
分が
town
逃げ
with
出
that
すため
money.
私は
I don't think he should
逃
run
げ
away.
逃げ出したって
Even if
サト
he
シ君は
did,
多分
he
一生
would
後
get it for the
悔
rest
す
of
る
his life.
お社様だって
Oshio-sama knows
それを
that.
分かっ
That's
て
why
るから
Oshio-sama is trying to warn him.
サトシ君
I
の
hope
心を
Satoshi-kun stops
サ
thinking
ト
of
コちゃんを
abandoning
見捨てるんだサ
Satoko-chan.
トシ君は
He's working hard to make it to Satoko-chan's birthday, which is a couple of days after the Watanagashi
くれず
festival.
心も体も追い詰
He's
めて
pushing himself too
そ
hard.
んな苦境
He
が
believes it'll
きっ
end
と
when
サトコちゃん
Satoko-chan's
の
birthday
代サトシ
comes.
君は
The curse keeps
今も
cautioning
よし
him,
サトコちゃんを
while
守
he
る
tries to figure out
見捨て
whether
る
he
かの
should
天
leave
秤
or
の
continue
狭間に
protecting
立たさ
her.
れながらね
The torrential rain didn't seem to want to stop. It kept pouring down the galvanized iron roof, producing a loud noise. Yet in the shack, I felt completely silent. What the hell was Rena talking about? Couldn't grasp even half of what she was saying. Only thing I had figured out was that Satoshi-kun was struggling, confused and in lots of pain. He's suffering from Oroshio-sama's curse? Rena had experienced that before. The Watanagashi festival was right around the corner. Oroshio-sama's curse had struck 3 years in a row. There's no guarantee that it won't strike a fourth time. Satoshi-kun was subject to Oroshio-sama's curse even now. Was he going to skip town? Was he going to be the next victim of Oroshio-sama's curse? Either way, he might disappear forever. Could I do something to prevent it? If I didn't do anything, it would all come to a hopeless end. And I started feeling a sense of dread. I didn't buy the crazy story Rena told me. But if something really happened to Satoshi-kun, which might bring some kind of end, couldn't help feel scared. It's true, isn't it? My instinct is always correct. I decided to contact Mion despite the danger. Mion got upset at first, but she had to listen to me.
お姉
Sis,
サトシ君の
what's
ことで
going
どう
on
いうこ
with
とになってるの
Satoshi-kun?
最近
He looks really stressed
部
out.
活に声もか
I
けら
can't
れ
even
ない
talk to him.
何それ
What do you mean?
声をかけられ
You
ない
know
か
what's
ら
going on because you
サトシ君が
can't
どう
talk
いう
to
状
him.
お
Sorry.
姉
Sis,
キンキンにまた
give me
入れ
another
替わる
chance
機
to
会を設
trade
けてほ
spots
しいの
again. But that's
で
fine.
も最近
I'm
は
kind
ちょ
of
っと
busy lately
渡
attending
辺の
meetings
お
for
祭
the
りのうち
festival.
何
What are you planning to
ま
do?
たバイト
Another part-time job?
私
I'm going to your
ひ
school.
なみ沢の学校へ行く
Higurashi when they cry Kai. Well, I think that's going to be the end of the chapter. I'm going to end it here, but ooh, this is becoming interesting. Notebook page 21 and 24. So I feel like Shion's going to mess stuff up, but she's lacking information. Funny how when we were Keiichi, we were like, ah, Satoshi, you fucking idiot. And we kind of warmed up to him over time. And now that we're Shion, we're kind of like, ah, Satoko, you little brat. Anyway, notebook page 21. Why didn't I relate my encounter with that creepy girl in the rain? Her name is Rena Ryugo. Her real first name is Reina. I've instead no idea what kind of girl she really is. One thing is certain, she had no relation to the Sonozaki family. She had no relation to the three families as a whole either. The Ryugo family used to live in Hinamizawa. They moved to Ibaraki. That was because before she went to elementary school, they returned to Hinamizawa some years later. Rena Ryugu said she came back because Oshio-sama told her to. I don't know what that means. She said it was the curse of Oyoshio-sama. What Oyoshio-sama had stalked her. I think it was probably because of hallucination, but Satoshi-kun had been interested in that experience. He said that Satoshi-kun was also experiencing Oyoshio-sama's curse. Satoshi-kun told her that he was being followed by some unknown existence. He was surprised to learn that Rena had the same experience before. What is Oyoshio-sama's curse? Why did Rena and Satoshi-kun have a similar experience? I believe that means that somebody put them under surveillance. Somebody must be spying on the next victim of the curse. Since Rena and Satoshi both blindly believe in Oyoshio-sama's curse, they interpreted it as Oyoshio-sama's presence. If paranoia kicks in, they'd feel as if they were experiencing paranormal phenomena. Judging from what Rena said, it seemed that Satoshi-kun had been put on surveillance since long before Watanagashi. So, one question comes to mind. Why were they watching Rena? I'm assuming that this surveillance was placed on a victim to be of that year. If so, I don't understand why Rena went through it. Why did I watch her even though she was living so far away? If she was considered somebody who abandoned the village, I could understand. But she didn't fall victim in the end. Maybe she was forgiven because she came back to Hinamizawa. I guess she still doesn't know something I don't. Guess she still knows something I don't. Notebook page 24. Satoshi-kun looked terrible. When he went home to mediate a fight between Satoko and their aunt, he became mentally exhausted. He went to work every day. He became physically exhausted. He no longer communicated with his classmates. He either slept on his desk or was going somewhere during his lunch break. He used to be really gentle. It was painful to see him suffering like that. On top of that, he was dealing with the curse of Oyoshio-sama. He must have been completely, totally, and absolutely exhausted. The curse was a form of surveillance by those planning to victimize Satoshi-kun that year. That means that the other victim was in the same situation. Satoshi-kun had also been watched. Did she notice my presence? What about the others? Did the victims of the previous incidents also experience it? I need to investigate the facts in order to prove the curse on Satoshi-kun was actually just surveillance. It is surveillance, paranoia, or really a curse. Suddenly, Shion's behavior in in Game 2, seemed really telling that she's like, oh shit. This was happening to Satoshi, it's now happening to me. Especially because I don't think Chapter 2 ever had the footsteps and stuff like that for, what's it called? For Keiichi. Interesting. Also, I am really confused whose notebook that is. Some of these seem like Satoshi's perspective, some of them seemed like Shion, some of them seemed like Mion's. Oh well. This last one was like telling what he was doing at school and stuff like that, which Shion probably wouldn't know. I guess she could have found it out from Mion. Oh well, that's it for now. Next weekend, we're continuing with Meikashi. I got through four chapters, yeah, which surprises me. I thought, going by the previous ones, this was going to get longer and longer. I thought it was going to be like 3 chapters at best. Though these could still get longer. I think I read this is like 14 chapters though. So definitely the longest one. in terms of chapter number at least. Assuming I only get 3 chapters per weekend, well, 3 chapters per day, should that take like 2 more weeks for me to finish this at worst? So I should be fine to finish Meikashi before, what's it called, my holidays. All right. Guess that's it then. See you all next time.